Guys, are we ready? We start sharp at 3 o'clock.
Yes.
And see, YouTube is also streams at
Yes, sir,
3 o'clock.
that it's live. Yes,
Yes, if it's live, we can go then. Shrutika?
yes, sir.
Good
Yes.
to go.
Yes, sir. Okay. So, one second. So, hello everyone, and a very, very good afternoon to everyone. I'm Shrutika Hegde, committee member at Thane WICASA and host for this session today. Firstly, I would like to wish you all a very happy Gandhi Jayanti and Lal Bahadur Shastri Jayanti. So, today on 151st birthday of Mahatma Gandhi ji, I would like to quote him by saying, "We are all humans, and making mistakes is a part of being humans. But we should always stop and take a look at what mistakes we did and why they happened. If we learn from our failures and mistakes, they would eventually turn out to be as a grand success." So, having said that, I would like to start this session by inviting our chairman of Thane WICASA, CA Rahul Garat sir. Over to you, sir. Please.
Thank you, Shrutika. A warm welcome to all of you. Firstly, I would like to welcome our today's guest, Srinivas Joshi sir, CCM, and really thank him that he gracing on this occasion is boon to all of you. Means जितना अपना उम्र है उतना सर का experience है. So gain out of it, and seriously, it's a boon that such kind of personality is today as guest of honor on today's day. Now, as Shrutika rightly said, 2nd October, Gandhi Jayanti. So the famous thing what Gandhiji, our father of nation, what he said is the Satyagraha. Okay, this Satyagraha is nothing but is tolerance and patience. What he was best, and same way we have to work as a CA, as a pursuing CA student. You should be having too much of tolerance in any circumstance. See the COVID situation, one exam cancelled and another upcoming. We are not knowing what will be happening next in such situation. Tolerance. You have to keep your tolerance, and you have to go with. Bus keep calm, leave rest on God, and nothing to it. Now about the committee members, the newly elected committee, which I should say that there was no name tag since 15th of since 12th of May they have been working, but never there was any time that who is working behind which Vikasa team this is. So here that with this new Vikasa team is, which I would like to glad to announce you officially, which is being announced on 22nd of September. So firstly, with the I guess momentum will just acknowledge with your faces. First is Smriti Motwani, who is the vice chairman of Vikasa. Smriti, are you there?
Yes, sir.
आपल्याकडे जाते का काय? आपल्याकडे जाते इसको अच्छा चालू आहे ना? येतोय कुठे इथे? आवाजच येत नाही.
Hello, I'm back. I guess unfortunately I lost myself. I'm back. And third is our treasurer, Hetal Panchal, and the rock solid person all behind continuous effort that programs are happening every time, and consistently being behind me that new program is updated every time and brought to all Thane Vikasa. And then is our Sachin Mishra. Sachin Mishra, then sorry myself, I just slipped off. Saili Kamle and Shrutika Hegde. So this is my team of Thane Vikasa official team, but there are some volunteers too who have been working day and night for all of you without any post. Yes, Pranav Vatani and Shiva Mishra. Sorry, the friends that I have lost because of this technical issue too many times. But without wasting much of the further time, I'll request Shrutika, over to you. You can proceed further. Thank you, friends.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Now today, I would like to introduce our guest of honor, Srinivas sir. Srinivas sir has contributed a lot to uh, our this. So now, without further any ado, I would like to introduce him. Srinivas sir is the current CCM, sorry, is the current CCM, and he is a practicing chartered accountant for past 38 years, especially in subjects like accounting, auditing, company law, and FEMA. He's an elected member of Central Council of ICAI, as I said earlier, and also a partner at CVK and Associates. He is also the chairman of Financial Reporting Review Board for the year 1920. So, if I keep on talking about Srinivas sir, the entire 3 hour session will take. So, without any further ado, please, sir, will you take over and enlighten us about your experience and how you have managed to give so much of positions in your hand and still standing strong. Over to you, sir, Srinivas sir. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Shrutika. Uh, uh, Rahul Gharatji, our star elected member from Thane Vikasa team. Actually, he is from Vikasa team. He is actually with us, and he is our member really as an elected member and a very enthusiastic person. Has done so much for Thane Vikasa over last several months, which I have been observing, and it's really very few branches have done like Thane under his leadership, and I congratulate him to start with. Of course, we have Tejas, Sourabh, Deepak, and Anagha to guide us in this. Uh, of course, I also welcome all the Vikasa new team, uh, starting with Sweti Motwani and all of you. Of course, Shrutika Hegde is not new to us. Young, bold, energetic, charismatic, budding leader, Shrutika Hegde, and
Thank
welcome
you
you
so much,
also.
sir. Thank you
And
so much.
I'm very sure that Rahul has selected you for this only because whatever I said, as a young, bold, energetic, charismatic, and budding leader, he feels there's something in you for that. And
Yes,
everyone,
insulting.
you said that what we should get. What we should get from people around us is observe them and see whether I can add something to my personality, my being, about the people around me. So I can add something from Rahul, something from you, something from Smriti, everybody, and then that is how we grow in life. I think that is where I don't want to give a big lecture on this, but I think this is where your suppose, Shrutika, your enthusiasm here in the way you speak and way you put it up is something to emulate for all of us, others who are elected members. I mean, something each one of us should get from other, what we should get.
Yes,
For example, if I'm praising somebody here, you see the way I do it, emulate that if you like, the way you do it. I mean, I'm not trying to be, for example, fake. I'm trying to
yes,
be real and still. I mean, how you put it. I mean, something like that. We can learn from each other a lot.
yes, yes, we can.
Here, I'll come back to the subject because you have a limited time and too many speakers in the whole list, and I hope many students do join as the course, as this particular webinar goes further. This webinar has a purpose, and you said this is to provide guidance to students, but especially to bring the strong mindset and attitude to prepare for exam. So there are two aspects actually to any exam. One is the physical preparation, that is for the subjects that we are trying to address, how I'll give my papers, how I'll write my answers. And second is the strong mindset and my overall attitude to the whole subject of what I am doing or whatever I'm doing in life. So what is important is the second part. The first part I can do repeatedly. There was a question whether we can repeatedly go. CA is always come again. So there's nothing in it. It can be in any international national examination. That not that every time we appear we must pass. But I'm just saying that we must build that strong mindset and attitude towards life, and if I can do that, I'll never fail. Failure is never final. So therefore I will always feel that, and this is a apt subject selected by, I think, Rahul, for all this particular webinar, that he is stressing something else. He is stressing the studies, which all of you do, but he's also stressing mindset and attitude, and I again thank him for that. Coming to the speakers I saw and the whole list, you have theory and practical papers approach that will be discussed by various speakers. So I'll not go into it. And also you have a speaker on stress management techniques. So stress management techniques, you must have heard many, many times in the past, but we need to repeat and actually practice. And what is missing is we listen, understand, but don't practice. And then the stress is in everyday life, every minute. And I don't know, the stress is, for example, whether I will have exam at all on 1st November, and that is stress for no reason. If there is exam or no exam, I have no control. Where there are some things in life where I have no control, I cannot keep on cribbing about it. This is where that strong mindset and attitude, I think, Rahul is talking about. And this is where I think we must all think that what is not in your hand, see that exam would happen on 1st November and start preparing for that. Now, I just started saying that maybe that CA is come again, or we may or may not pass, or we should not bother if whether we pass or don't pass, keep on trying. But I have two reasons to give you why we must pass the November examination. All of us who are listening to me, why we must pass this CA examination in November. And I have two arguments for this. One is some of us will have an economic compulsion that in our house, either my father is retired, mother is not working, I have no brother who earns, and I have economic compulsion to earn. And I cannot keep on appearing for the examination endlessly. Otherwise, I am just interceding, and I will never get in life what I want, and therefore it may be economic compulsion, which drives me to say that I have no option. I repeat, I have no option but to pass. Second, and more important for those who are good student and who are likely to pass or like are trying for a rank and are pretty sure that they would clear after so many months of study, especially from December, some of you because you miss May examination. If you don't pass this, why I'm saying again, why I must pass, again, we are on attitude and strong mindset. What is the loss? Friend, the loss is 6 months. If I don't, I've already lost 6 months, May exam. Another loss if I don't pass this, another 6 months, another 6 months if I don't pass the next one. What is the loss? Suppose let us assume that if I go for an employment, I'll get 50,000 rupees a month, just to say something, or 40,000 rupees a month. I'll get that. So is it a loss if I don't pass for 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 year, 18 months? Is it I can multiply that amount into 40,000 or 50,000? Say that is my loss in life? No, no. What is my loss in life is I will have to retire at 60 or 58 or whatever. So what I lose is last 6 months, last 12 months, last 18 months salary, which can be in lakhs. So what I'm losing is maybe my salary is 3 lakhs a month. Then you multiply and see what is your loss. Your loss is huge, huge. And that is the time you save the most at the end of your life when you are earning the highest. And that is where your loss is very high. Number one. Number two, all your peer, means other friends have gone ahead of you. So there is no point in, you can't catch them later on that they have gone far ahead. And then you will feel always bad that I was with him in a school, college, and see where is he, where I am. Because you are not decided that you must pass a particular exam. Come what may, I shall pass. This is the attitude I must have to this examination of November. Now, that's why I'm telling you that beware of people who spread gloom. They will always tell you, "Arey, CA exam kya hai? 85% students would always fail. Where is the question of you passing what you were in college and school with?" Don't see what others are doing, whether they pass or not, whether they get rank or not. Just don't bother. See how you can pass, but don't look around. Absolutely, your attitude should be that you don't look around. You look at yourself, improve yourself every day, and see that you pass. Just don't bother who passed around you. A very great student who was rank holder failed, and very dull student passed. Don't bother about yourself. Be, like Americans, think of yourself and do what you want just to see what you pass. Then next point I would like to make is, what is key to success? Friends, key to success was always hard work. Nobody has any doubt on that hard work is the only way to succeed. Now coming to that, if you see Stephen Leacock saying, whether you believe in luck. Now luck, many students have said that unless you are lucky, you can never pass CA or never get a rank. No, that's not true. That's not true. Very, very, commonly, students who had no high level of intelligence or otherwise known to be extraordinary student, they are passing. I'm saying that luck plays a very, very, very small role, and hard work plays a very, very large role in any exam like CA. If you know the subject, there is no examiner we can fail you. So what Stephen said is, I am a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have, the more I have it. Means he is trying to actually tell you that hard work only pays and not the luck. Now, there are several things we should know, and quickly I'll go through that because we have other speakers to say. I want to say few of the things for your examination and few of the things for your attitude. Friends, we must learn from our mistake. It is already said by Rahul. Now, what are the mistakes I made? For example, I'm an extraordinary student in college and school, and I feel that any exam is just a matter of appearance for me. I just appear and pass. I never failed in my life. So CA exam will be one of them. So I'm lazy. Friends, laziness, and arrogance, overconfidence. I feel that 4 hours study is good enough for me, but Srinivas Joshi, 14 hours study. I can do it in 4 hours. Why I should? Laziness. I don't need to do. And second is overconfidence. These two are major mistakes students do, especially good student, extraordinary student. And therefore, average student cross them very easily in any examination. Another mistake we keep on doing is unbalanced study. I asked one of the article students, she got 72 marks in final IT information technology. I said, how you can get it when others are failing? She said, when I looked at the paper, final syllabus, I realized that only paper I can fail is information technology. Otherwise, I should pass generally my final C examination. So what I did, for 90 days before examination, from morning 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I was reading only IT, information technology, doing only that for 90 consecutive days. By the time paper came, I could read the paper and tell you from the question itself that this is on page number 68, para number 4, line number 5. So this is how you know that effort that she did, and she understood that what is balanced study versus unbalanced study. We always try to do what we like. I like accounting, I put 15 days in accounting and only 5 days in information technology. Unbalanced study is something which will kill you, the best of the student also. Then of course, the many other things, but I like to tell you one of the things is lack of discipline. Many of the students don't have discipline, self control. They are not focused what they want really. They are not ready to sacrifice their pleasures. They are not able to avoid distractions or temptations, and this is where this lack of discipline is something that is something that will really be a very very major impediment to them. Now, coming to the actual exams, etc., these speakers would tell you, but I will tell you here that expected level of knowledge is something in the final is far different than in the IPCC or in inter. Now, expected level of knowledge in each paper is expert knowledge. In that case, you really need to be an expert. You cannot be just casually doing something and expect to pass. I will also request you to be in discussion groups in your classes, in your office where you're doing articleship, in your library. Have a discussion groups for various subjects and what you don't understand. We used to do it in those days as well when I passed CA and CS simultaneously, company secretary, chartered secretary, and chartered accountancy. Here we used to do this. Whatever I knew, I used to teach others, and teaching others gave me more clarity on the subject, and others taught me what they knew. And this is how in group we studied and elevated everybody around us. Now, for preparation for exam, self-confidence, positive attitude is required in any case. Planning is required, but the most important thing is regular study and conceptual clarity is something that you need. You cannot study only at the time of after taking leave and complete your studies or do your studies. Conceptual clarity is every of your class professor also told you about conceptual clarity. Whenever now you get the in the papers the case studies, conceptual clarity will only give you the correct answer to case studies. Otherwise, there is no answer given in any, because there is an open book examination and you don't know where to find the answer unless you have conceptual clarity. Your approach to distribution of mark, preparation of study plan should be there. Many people will tell you that you can do selective study and still pass. I'm not for that. I'll tell you that you don't do selective study. You need to study the whole syllabus. Paper is spread over whole syllabus, and therefore it is necessary to check that. Coming to the quick listing of common mistakes we make while studying. Quick listing. Please listen carefully. Overemphasis on reading. Instead of having a lack of writing practice, instead of practice, when you go to the exam for 7 to 9 days, after 7th day your handwriting will be so bad that you yourself can't read it. Lack of writing practice, every day 1 hour writing practice is required. Every day, don't have overemphasis on reading, solve problems. There are many speakers will tell you that. uh, Topic, don't put any topic for option is one of the mistake that you always make. Then we don't reserve extra days. What we do is, when planning we have 40 days, we'll have 8 subjects, just divide and say so many days. This is not the way. We need extra days. The extra days are required because you can fall ill, somebody in your house can fall ill, there can be other issues with your studies, something goes over period, etc. Then there is a panic. Common mistake is panic, because the time is flying very fast and you are not prepared for exam and panic. This is where the attitude comes, and we should see it properly that we are not panicked. Striking balance is where you must look for your health as well, and your sleep versus your active life is something I will like you to look at. very carefully. Find your time wasters, mobile, WhatsApp, internet, television. If you listen to the rank holders, they will tell you that they have always put off all this for 6 months, completely off for 6 months before examination. All time wasters. uh, then you should have the key points for important points. You always do, all of you. Many of us make a mistake of seeing the solution. For example, if I am solving a costing, or I look at costing problem, or yeah, this is one entry, then whole thing I know everything. This is like looking at the solution. This is not solving. Solve it. You will find first time it will take 50 minutes, then 45 minutes, third problem 40 minutes. You should come to 25 minutes for every kind of problem to be solved in 30-35 minutes in examination condition. Solve variety of problems and try to solve and not read, and that's going to be a very big challenge for you. Focus on recall technique and not reading. Just close the book and recall, and you will panic many times that I can't recall anything out of it. Please focus on recall techniques, and recall will only give you the in exam the confidence. Even though you have not read anything in the previous day, it will give you confidence. Appear for mock tests. It is a must, and it will give you a confidence that you are well trained. Always, as a person from institute, and I was there in the examination committee 3 consecutive years. I have handled 6 examinations for the institute, and I'll tell you, read only study material and practice manuals. And therefore you don't do anything else. Do study material and practice manual, and you will pass. Last one or two things I'd like to tell you before I close, that use your 15 minutes additional time given to select question and not think of answers. First, you select in 15 minutes what you will answer, not how you will answer. This is very, very critical and key things in the examination. If you keep on thinking of answer, you're wasting your time. You first select questions which you feel you can answer, and then go for it as the bell goes. This will give you a real good head start for the answers. Solve the paper fully. No vague and roundabout answers. Don't feel that the examiner can be just fooled by number of pages you write. He knows the content well. He has been taught to see it that way. And then let us not be vague and roundabout. Legible, neat handwriting. Most of it, when we see a paper, we feel it's always must be a girl student who is neat and tidy. Why not boys? And neat and tidy presentation. In my some of my articles do have extremely good neat and tidy presentation and legibility. Good expression, command over language, use of heading and head notes. Whenever you are writing any short notes, and it should be in one page, use headings and head notes. Don't try to elaborate too much in that. It's a short note. They want, the examiner wants to know you know all the points, and you know in the order of importance. That's all. So things like this, the many techniques are there which you can think of. This is in short nutshell. I thought I can guide you in on this particular subject. I again thank whole Thane WICASA and Rahul Garat and Kritika and all of them for this. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you. Over
Thank
to
you,
Rahul.
sir. It was
Yes.
thank you. No, over to Shrutika, sir.
Yeah.
Now, but
Yes.
I just came to say thank you, sir. That it was really nice hearing to you all the time and every time. Rather, I should be saying
Sir.
thank
Yeah.
you once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. As we heard Srinivas sir saying, come what may, I shall pass." This is the attitude that every CA student should possess, and that is the only mantra to success. So, again, everything that you said, sir, was very valuable, and we thank you so much for taking your precious time out and helping us students and us in excelling our exams. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You
So,
continue. Yeah.
okay, sir.
Yeah.
So, in this next speaker, I would like to introduce our next speaker, CA. He's a chartered accountant, a company secretary, and not just a chartered accountant and company secretary, but also a rank holder in both these degrees. He has pursued LLB, again a rank holder. He has been NET qualified, masters in BCom and masters in BCom, bachelors in commerce, and honored by Gem of India Award for being youngest faculty in India. He has also been awarded by Rashtriya Shiksha Ratna Award for getting 6 high-profile degrees at the age of 25. Now, I would like to disclose the name of this mastermind, Mr. CA Tejas Shah. Sir, if you're hearing us, please, I would like to invite you to our session. Sir, are you there?
Hello,
Tejas
thanks a
sir.
lot, Shrutika. Thanks a lot,
Okay,
Shrutika.
sir. Thank you.
And
Sir, over
thank
to you now.
yes, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Am I audible? Perfectly audible?
Yes, yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. Thanks a lot for warm welcome, Shrutika. I guess learning should be there in whole life. You should be student throughout the life so that you
Yes.
can learn many things. Thanks a lot, Rahul sir, for inviting me as a speaker. Thanks a lot. And thanks a lot, Srinivasan sir. You have covered many of my points actually. So you curtailed my time, sir. But yes, as experience speaks a lot. So Srinivas sir ने बहुत सारे points आपको already बता दिए. So few of the points जो सर ने बोले हैं, reason behind that is very deep. See, basically I won't waste your time because you all are having examination in not even 30 days but very 29 to 30 days, so I won't waste your time. So let's start. uh, it is my 8 year of experience teaching chartered accountant students and various other professional students, but mainly chartered accountant students. मैंने थ्रू आउट द जर्नी एक चीज ऑब्जर्व की एंड that's why I have selected this topic. See, basically, if I say I am a chartered accountant, people think that he is a master of accounts. Accounts में कुछ भी दे दो, टैक्स में कुछ भी दे दो, he is like a tax कंसल्टेशन मशीन. उनको पूछो जवाब दे देंगे, सेक्शन वेक्शन बोल देंगे, एएस एंड एएस सारी चीजें झाड़ देंगे. बट एक चीज हमेशा हमेशा एक मिसकंसेप्शन होता है कि ही मे बी वीक इन थियरी. सो ये स्टूडेंट को भी लगता है बहुत बार. बेसिकली व्हेन अ स्टूडेंट परस्यू सीए, सो मैं I have seen in many of the places के if your accounts is strong, go for CA. If your theory is strong, go for CS. I don't know why this misconception is there. To be very frank, subject like account has a base of theory. लाइक अकाउंट पूरा अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड से है विच इज अ थियरी. ठीक है, वो फाइनल स्टूडेंट्स को पता होगा. अभी फाइनल में आप देखते रहोगे एफआर में एएस इंड एएस एवरीथिंग इज बेस्ड अपॉन थियरी. सो लेट्स चेंज दैट माइंडसेट. डोंट थिंक थियरी है तो हम सीए नहीं कर सकते. थियरी है तो बिलीव मी यू कैन बी अ बेटर सीए देन एनीथिंग एल्स. ठीक है. सो बेसिकली यस, तो थियरी पेपर का माइंडसेट चेंज करो पहले यार. ये थियरी पेपर बिल्कुल डरावने नहीं होते. इट इज नॉट कॉन्जरिंग टू अटेम्प्ट थियरी पेपर्स एंड बिलीव मी you can score full marks because I have seen many students getting auditing में 90 marks, law में 90 marks. So see, basically there are 17 to 18 question. अगर कोई तो आंसर में फुल आया then only he or she can score more than 90. Otherwise it is not possible to score 90 in theory papers, right? So देयर आर चांसेस कि यू मे गेट 90 मार्क्स. अभी क्या होता है, आपके दोस्त, आपका एक माइंडसेट कि यार थियरी पेपर में फुल मिलना इज इम्पॉसिबल. इट इज नॉट इम्पॉसिबल, इट इज ड्यू टू योर माइंडसेट कि ये मिलता ही नहीं, और वो करके आप लैक ऑफ प्रिपरेशन के साथ एग्जाम में जाते हो. सो दैट इज अ मिसकंसेप्शन. प्लीज चेंज दैट मिसकंसेप्शन. और थियरी में भी फुल मार्क्स मिलते हैं, ऑडिटिंग लॉ जैसे पेपर में भी फुल मार्क्स मिलते हैं. मेनी ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स इज आई एम बेसिकली टीचिंग ऑडिटिंग since 8 years and law from few years. So audit is one of the subjects जहाँ पे इंटर का स्टूडेंट बोलो या फाइनल का स्टूडेंट बोलो, उनके लिए तो नाइटमेयर होता है. एंड दे ब्लेम आईसीआई. आईसीआई इसमें कुछ ना कुछ तो गूगली डालता है, आईसीआई इसमें कुछ ना कुछ तो गेम खेलता है. ऐसा नहीं है. बिलीव मी, इट इज ड्यू टू योर माइंडसेट. आप ये पहले से बना के बैठे हो कि ये सब्जेक्ट में आता ही है, तो वो माइंड जैसा काम करेगा वैसा ही आप काम करेगा. सो प्लीज चेंज दैट माइंडसेट. it is due to your lack of preparation. To be very frank, I'll be transparent. अगर आप प्रिपरेशन अच्छे से करते हो, ask any rank holder जिनको 80-90 प्लस ऑडिटिंग में आया, they have never skipped even one topic, even one concept. क्योंकि it is like जो दिन आपने टिकट नहीं निकाला वो दिन टिकट चेकर पकड़ेगा. इट इज स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड. जो दिन आप अम्ब्रेला नहीं लेके जा रहे वो दिन बारिश आएगा. इट इज लाइक दैट. एंड देन व्हाट यू से, अरे यार यही नहीं पढ़ा था वही आया. तो तो क्यों छोड़ना? जब आपको पता है जो आप छोड़ोगे वही पूछने वाले हैं, तो कुछ भी मत छोड़ो. एज श्रीनिवास सर ऑल्सो करेक्टली सेड, एक कंसेप्ट नहीं छोड़ना है. पास एनी रैंक होल्डर. हाँ, I'll say you don't skip anything so that future generation will ask you, because you gonna be the rank holder, right? So please कोई भी क्वेश्चन छोड़ो मत, कोई भी कंसेप्ट छोड़ो मत. ठीक है, चलो लेट्स स्टार्ट. बेसिकली थियरी सब्जेक्ट्स में योर कंसेप्चुअल नॉलेज मस्ट बी वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग, वेरी 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 स्ट्रॉन्ग. मतलब see, language plays a role because auditing subject is all about language, law subject is all about language. So these papers are having difficult language. Yes, I do agree. If you write major mistake instead of material misstatements, you'll lose the marks. For sure you'll lose the marks. See, हम चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट दूसरों से अलग कब दिखेंगे? When we have good command over our language, when we are having professional language skills, right? So these languages must be there. It is for us only. हाँ, हम जो 2.5 लाख है out of 130 crores, so ये हमारे लिए है. ठीक है, तो we are differentiated from others due to this thing. So इसके लिए आप मेहनत करो यार, इसके लिए आपको मेहनत करना पड़ेगा. If you can see your future, have vision कि 10 साल बाद 15 साल बाद मैं कहाँ पे रहूंगा. स्टूडेंट का यही प्रॉब्लम है, दे थिंक अबाउट शॉर्ट टर्म. अरे यार कल पढ़ना पड़ेगा, मेरा दोस्त घूमने जा रहा है. इफ यू कैन सी द स्टोरीज एंड स्टेटस के यार ये घूम रहा है, इधर उधर घूम रहा है, बट मैं कहाँ पे हूँ, मैं घर पे हूँ. सो ये आपको सेक्रीफाइस करना पड़ेगा. यू आर नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग which a general a normal person can do it. It is, CA is not about all general people, right? We do it because we are very strong. CA लेने का एक, जब आप फॉर्म भरते हो, you can see my display picture. There was a clock, wall clock in Cuff Parade, stating that time will pass, will you? Question mark. So ICA is very clear about this. Okay? If you are doing it, please sacrifice your 4 to 5 years. 4 to 5 years, 4. But we have been taught about conservatism. So 5 to 6 years for ICI. ICI को छोड़ के और किधर 5 से 6 साल जाने का ही नहीं. मतलब अगेन श्रीनिवास सर ने जैसे बोला कि आपका डिस्ट्रैक्शंस जो भी है सब हटा दो. सी बेसिकली आई बिलोंग टू हर जनरेशन, सो मैं ये नहीं बोलूंगा आप कंप्लीटली बंद कर दो. यस ऑफ कोर्स लास्ट 2-3 महीना तो करना चाहिए आपको व्हेन यू आर इन इंटर और फाइनल. फॉर फाउंडेशन स्टूडेंट इफ दे आर वाचिंग थ्रू यूट्यूब, आपको लास्ट 1.5 महीना तो छोड़ ही देना चाहिए. बट रेगुलरली स्पेंड ओनली 1 hour, एंड आई एम सेइंग कंपल्सरी स्पेंड 1 hour फॉर रिफ्रेशमेंट. आप थोड़ा रिफ्रेशमेंट के लिए टाइम निकालो, क्योंकि वो भी जरूरी है. इवन आर मशीन्स रिक्वायर रिफ्रेशमेंट, सो आपको भी रिफ्रेशमेंट होना चाहिए. बट अंडरस्टैंड, रिफ्रेशमेंट इज आफ्टर हार्ड वर्क. इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड, तो आपको पता चलेगा कि मैं तो पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ एज अ रिफ्रेशमेंट, क्योंकि 7-8 घंटा टाइम पास करने के बाद आई स्टडी फॉर 1 or 2 hours इफेक्टिवली. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट इफेक्टिवली. जब आपके पास सेलफोन नहीं है, जब आपके पास और कोई डिस्ट्रैक्शन नहीं है, तो यू विल फील लाइक यार मैं 7-8 घंटे, रिफ्रेशमेंट तो मेरा पढ़ाई है, मतलब बाकी सब तो ज़्यादा चल रहा है. तो प्लीज़ ये मत करो इंटर और फाइनल के स्टूडेंट, क्योंकि ज़्यादा ऑलरेडी पहले देख के आता है कि यहाँ का लेवल क्या है. फाउंडेशन में आप पास हो जाते हो, फिर इंटर में आपको पता चलता है अरे अभी तो समंदर आ गया, पूरा सिलेबस का समंदर आ गया. फाउंडेशन वाज स्टिल मैनेजेबल, बट अभी तो समंदर आ. और फाइनल में तो छोड़ ही दो. मतलब कवरेज ऑफ होल पोर्शन डिट्टो वर्ड टू वर्ड इज अप्रोक्सीमेटली डिफिकल्ट. तो कंसेप्चुअल नॉलेज ही काम आएगा. सो प्लीज बी रेडी विथ योर कंसेप्चुअल नॉलेज. लैंग्वेज में अगर 19-20 हुआ, डोंट गेट मी रॉन्ग, 19-20, आई एम नॉट सेइंग 18-20, 17-20. ठीक है, सो 19-20 हुआ, दैट विल डू. स्टिल यू कैन स्कोर फुल मार्क्स, राइट? फुल मार्क्स आ सकते हैं अगर आपका कंसेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी है. कंसेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी, बिलीव मी, एग्जामिनर, पेपर चेकर को पता चल गया कि यू आर कंसेप्चुअली क्लियर विद द पॉइंट. बिलीव मी, यू हैव स्कोर्ड अप्रोक्सीमेटली 60-65%. आप पास हो. वहाँ पे तो 60-65% आपने क्लियर कर लिया. बट थियरी पेपर्स लाइक ऑडिटिंग, लॉ, यहाँ पे आपको लैंग्वेज का रोल प्ले आएगा, एंड दैट इज 30-35%. सो आपको लैंग्वेज पे भी कमांड रखना पड़ेगा. एंड मैं ये 8 साल से बोल रहा हूँ, राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस चाहिए. बिकॉज अकाउंट्स जैसे पेपर में, टैक्स जैसे पेपर में आप क्या करते हो? इफ यू आर गोइंग फॉर कोचिंग और इफ यू आर अटेंडिंग एनी लेक्चर्स, तो आप क्या करते हो? लिखते हो सम साथ में. सो देयर इज अ राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस एलिमेंट इन प्रैक्टिकल पेपर. सो वो आपका ऑलरेडी स्ट्रॉन्ग है, इसके लिए यू फाइंड इट कंफर्टेबल वाइल गिविंग एग्जाम. बट ऑडिट, लॉ, ये सब का आपका माइंडसेट क्या है? 12th OCM था ना, 12th OCM, हाँ, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड मैनेजमेंट, उसमें कैसा हाँ प्लानिंग अभी उसका फंक्शन है, तो प्लानिंग डायरेक्शन, आप यही माइंडसेट से चलते हो थियरी मतलब हेड पॉइंट्स। अरे नहीं है ऐसा, यहाँ पे पेपर चेकर्स आर वेल इन्फॉर्म्ड एंड वेल क्वालिफाइड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि आंसर कैसा आना चाहिए। ठीक है, आपके इंटर लेवल पे तो आपसे रीजनेबल लैंग्वेज मांगते हैं, रीजनेबल अंडरस्टैंडिंग मांगते हैं, बट फाइनल लेवल पे तो यू आर ऑलरेडी डन विद 2.5 years ऑफ आर्टिकलशिप इफ यू आर रिपीटर देन 3 years। सो आप ऑलरेडी बहुत कुछ 3 and on years, सो बिलीव मी आप ऑलरेडी बहुत प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ भी देख के आए, तो आपका तो होल्ड और ज्यादा एक्सपर्ट होना चाहिए। ठीक है, तो फाइनल लेवल पे आपका एक्सपर्ट लैंग्वेज मांगते हैं, और इंटर लेवल पे 19-20 विल डू। 19-20, हाँ प्लीज डोंट गेट मी रॉन्ग, 19-20 विल डू। ओके, सो फर्स्ट 15 minutes, ठीक है, फर्स्ट 15 minutes will decide your next 3 hours, and next 3 hours will decide your further year or years। ओके, सो प्लीज ये 15 मिनट को एकदम सीरियसली लो, एकदम सीरियसली लो, क्योंकि आप लास्ट, अगर इफ यू आर इन इंटर देन यू आर स्ट्रगलिंग सिंस लास्ट 12 months, आप कहीं पे जा नहीं रहे हो, आप 8-9 घंटे के क्लासेस अटेंड कर रहे हो, आप कॉलेजेस अटेंड कर रहे हो क्योंकि 75% कंपलसरी है। सो आप बहुत सारे कॉलेज में आप अटेंड कर रहे हो, सो आपका टाइम पैक है, आपने 9 महीने दे दिए ऑलरेडी। सो व्हाई यू आर डूइंग एनीथिंग विच विच एड्स योर मंथ, ठीक है, फॉर मोर हार्डवर्क। सो क्यों आप ये कर रहे हो, लास्ट 1 महीना है, प्लीज इसको बहुत सीरियसली लो, इसको बहुत सीरियसली लो। और ये 15 मिनट में आपको क्या करना है मैं बोलता हूँ। मैंने आई हैव सीन मैनी स्टूडेंट, नॉट ओनली स्टूडेंट बट मेरे साथ जो एग्जाम दे रहे थे, मैंने देखा पेंसिल लेके ना सीधा उनके घोड़े दौड़ा देते, बाजू में सेक्शन लिखना चालू, बाजू में अपना जो भी पॉइंट्स होंगे, हेड पॉइंट्स होंगे, वो लिखना चालू। अरे यार, दीज आर एक्चुअली नॉट अलाउड। आप पहले 2 पेज कभी पढ़े ही नहीं हो, फर्स्ट पेज में आप जब नोट डाउन करते हो रोल नंबर, ये वो अगला पेज कभी पढ़ने का टाइम लिया है? कभी टाइम नहीं लिया। उसमें लिखा हुआ है, यू कांट डू एनीथिंग इन योर क्वेश्चन पेपर, यू कांट राइट एनीथिंग इन योर क्वेश्चन पेपर। ठीक है, ये आप अगर करते हो तो सुपरवाइजर हैज राइट टू डिस्क्वालीफाई यू फ्रॉम द एग्जाम। तो ऐसा मजाक करना है आपको आपकी लाइफ के साथ? 6 महीना सीधा उसके बाद सीधा आएगा। अरे गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? अगर कुछ सीरियस हुआ तो ज्यादा सीरियस पेनल्टीज भी लग सकती है। तो डोंट राइट एनीथिंग, ensure you utilize this 15 minutes to sequence your answer sheet. Sequencing is very important, sequencing is very important। जैसे कौन सा क्वेश्चन मुझे पहले अटेंड करना है, कौन सा क्वेश्चन मुझे लास्ट अटेंड करना है, इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। कौन सा क्वेश्चन मुझे अटेंड ही नहीं करना है, अगेन इट इज नॉट योर 12th स्टैंडर्ड जहां पे आप ऑप्शनल एग्जाम, ऑप्शनल आंसर अटेंड करोगे, उसके भी जिसके कम मार्क्स है, थर्ड क्वेश्चन और लास्ट क्वेश्चन, जिसमें ज्यादा मार्क्स है उसको ले लिया, जिसमें कम मार्क्स है उसको एलिमिनेट किया। ऐसा नहीं है। जो आप पहले कंपलसरी क्वेश्चन समझो आपने सारे, आपको मैं ऑडिटिंग का अगर बात करूँ तो क्वेश्चन 1 इज कंपलसरी, राइट। पार्ट ए तो एमसीक्यू 30 मार्क्स, पार्ट बी में क्वेश्चन 1 इज कंपलसरी एंड क्वेश्चन 2 to 6 उसमें से कोई भी आपको 4 अटेंड करने हैं, राइट। तो अगर आपने समझो 2, 3, 4, 5 आपने किया और साथ में 6 भी लिखा, आपको 3 में है 12 मार्क्स आउट ऑफ 14 और 6 में है 14 मार्क्स आउट ऑफ 14, अज्यूम। तो आपको मार्क्स मिलेंगे वो क्वेश्चन 3 के, जो लास्ट क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट किया हट गया। यहाँ पे ऑप्शनल क्यों सिलेक्ट करने जाते हो? एक तो ये दो तरफा बात होती है स्टूडेंट की, कभी कभी आई कैन सी दैट सर मेरा पेपर कंप्लीट होगा क्या? अच्छा, वही स्टूडेंट एंड में पूछता है सर मैं एक्स्ट्रा क्वेश्चन लिखूं तो उसका मार्क्स मिलेगा। क्या बोल रहा है? अरे गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? मतलब यार कॉन्ट्राडिक्टिंग एट अनदर लेवल। ठीक है, सो प्लीज जितना भी लिखो परफेक्टली, rather than going for that optional question attempt करके आप एग्जामिनर को यही दिखा रहे हो कि you are not confident about your attempted question। मत करो, उल्टा फोकस करो ना वो क्वेश्चन पे जो आप अटेंड करने वाले हो, एंड बिलीव मी टाइम प्रॉपर मिलता है। बट व्हेन यू स्टार्ट योर माइंडसेट ऑफ फूलिंग द पेपर चेकर के, हाँ चलो डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच मैंने बहुत देखी आपके पेपर्स में। हाँ, आई कैन सी द डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच, लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल advantage of auditing, right? It is very advantageous to undergo auditing because it is very you can say helpful in government in settling government dispute और taxation dispute। अभी आपने फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट लिखा, अभी उसके अंदर ही घूम रहा है। ठीक है, इनकम टैक्स डिस्प्यूट कैन बी रिजॉल्व्ड बाय ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट। ऑडिटर विल हेल्प इन रिड्यूसिंग टैक्सेशन मैटर्स डिस्प्यूट्स। अरे क्या कर रहे हो? मतलब ये समझ रहा है, ये पेपर चेकर को बहुत सारे इंस्ट्रक्शन रहते हैं और डोंट इरिटेट द क्वेश्चन एग्जामिनर राइट, पेपर चेकर, उसको बिल्कुल इरिटेट मत करो। ये आप इनडायरेक्ट डायरेक्ट स्पीच का अब देख क्या है, 10th स्टैंडर्ड हो गया, हाँ यहाँ पे हो गया डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच, अभी मत दो ये, बिलीव मी। हाँ तो ये तो आपका मार्क्स पक्का निकाल देगा। मतलब इफ यू शुड गेट 4 मार्क्स आउट ऑफ 5 और 6, यू विल बी गेटिंग 1 मार्क। अगर आपने यही रिपीटेशन किया तो बहुत जन पूछते हैं सर पूरा आंसर टिक किया 1 मार्क दिया है, सर पूरा आंसर टिक किया 2 मार्क दिया है। अरे ऐसा ऐसा आंसर लिखा तो क्या होगा, डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच बना के तू लेंथ बढ़ाएगा। डोंट फोकस ऑन योर क्वांटिटी ऑफ योर आंसर। अलग अलग, ये बहुत गलत मेथोडोलॉजी, एकदम अलग ही माइंडसेट के साथ चल रहे हो। फोकस ऑन योर क्वालिटी, इट इज प्रोफेशनल एग्जाम, क्वांटिटी डजंट मैटर, ओनली क्वालिटी विल वर्क। ठीक है, तो फर्स्ट 15 मिनट्स आपको यूटिलाइज करना है ये देखने के लिए कि कौन सा आंसर मुझे कभी पहले लिखना है, बाद में लिखना है, सेकंड कौन सा, थर्ड कौन सा, फोर्थ कौन सा। आईसीए ने कहाँ पे भी नहीं बोला है कि आपको फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन ही फर्स्ट करना है, सेकंड ही सेकंड करना है, थर्ड ही थर्ड करना है। इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट। आपको जो सबसे अच्छा आ रहा है ना, आपको जो सबसे अच्छा आंसर आ रहा है, अटेम्प्ट दैट फर्स्ट। ठीक है, आपने देखा कि क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 ये बहुत अच्छा है, इसके अंदर के जो 3 सब क्वेश्चन है वो मुझे अच्छे से, बहुत अच्छे से आते हैं, सो अटेम्प्ट दैट क्वेश्चन फर्स्ट। ठीक है, ये आपको 15 मिनट में ये सारी चीजें ऑब्जर्व करनी है। ये सीधा चालू नहीं हो जाना है, आपके पेंसिल पेन लेके घोड़े नहीं दौड़ाना है, सुपरवाइजर भड़क गए तो आप गए, समझ रहे क्या। तो आपको क्या करना है, सिर्फ सीक्वेंसिंग दे दो। इफ यू वांट, चलो आपने सोच लिया क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 मैं फर्स्ट करूंगा, क्वेश्चन नंबर 6 मैं सेकंड करूंगा, ये सीक्वेंसिंग देखो तो आपको ये भी पता चल जाएगा साथ में कि कौन से क्वेश्चन आपको अटेम्प्ट नहीं करना है। एलिमिनेट दैट क्वेश्चन, एलिमिनेट दैट क्वेश्चन। तो आपका देखो यहाँ पे 1/6 बर्डन खत्म, खत्म इधर ही। ठीक है, मतलब वो तो उसको क्वेश्चन आपको देखना ही नहीं है, बट ये आप कब कर पाओगे, व्हेन यू यूटिलाइज दोस 15 मिनट्स। एंड बिलीव मी, ये 15 मिनट्स नहीं है, कौन बोले 15 मिनट के बाद आपको क्वेश्चन पेपर पढ़ना ही नहीं है। If it involves 20 minutes, do it, no problem. 2 hours and 45 minutes are enough to write theory papers. क्योंकि थियरी पेपर आपके जो भी ड्राफ्ट करते हैं वो ये सारे टाइम मैनेजमेंट देख के करते हैं। हाँ, अगर आप फेंकने जाओगे, आंसर ज्यादा ही फेंकने जा रहे हो तो फिर आपका टाइम मैनेजमेंट होएगा ही नहीं, सीधा बात है। सो यू कैन राइट योर आंसर कंफर्टेबली विद इन 2 hours and 45 minutes. So if you want 20 minutes or 25 minutes investment in your selection of your answer, selection, sequencing your answer, please do it. Please invest it. It is investment of time and not wastage of your time. बेल बजा, आपका दिमाग वो हिसाब से घूम रहा है, बेल बज गया, अरे चलो 2 बज गया अभी लिखना चालू कर। इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट। बी काम। एग्जाम के दिन 2 सिचुएशन आती है, या तो आप पेपर पे हावी हो जाओगे, इफ यू आर हैविंग गुड कंसेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी, सब कुछ अगर अच्छा रहेगा तो आप पेपर अच्छे से दोगे, या तो पेपर आप पे हावी हो जाएगा जब आप ये हड़बड़ी में काम कर रहे हो। व्हेन यू आर, सी बेसिकली नर्वसनेस सबको होगा, बट प्रेशर में नहीं आना। नर्वसनेस, बिलीव मी, आपके अटेम्प्ट में जो रैंक 1 होने वाला है, वन ऑफ यू माइट बी, तो जो भी रैंक 1 आने वाला है वो भी नर्वस तो है। इट इज ऑल इंडिया लेवल का एग्जाम, इट इज चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी बॉस। ठीक है, तो इसके लिए आप नर्वसनेस तो आना है, इंडिया लेवल का एग्जाम देने जा रहे हो, इतना बड़े लेवल का एग्जाम देने का, बट नर्वसनेस को होल्ड करो थोड़ा। दिमाग आपको नहीं चलाना चाहिए, आप दिमाग को चलाओ। ठीक है, होल्ड करके रखो उसको, नर्वसनेस को प्रेशर में क्रिएट मत होने दो। फिर वो ब्लैंक वाली सिचुएशन आती है, आंसर घुमाना चालू हो जाता है, फर्स्ट लाइन लिखा, फिर वही पूरा पेज वही फर्स्ट लाइन के डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच पे कर डाला। ओ यार, दैट इज रॉन्ग माइंडसेट एंड रॉन्ग मेथोडोलॉजी टू आंसर इन प्रोफेशनल एग्जाम, राइट। सो ये 15 मिनट में आपको क्या करना है, वेरी क्लियर, sequence your answer, eliminate that extra question, you need not write that extra question, rather focus on those मेन क्वेश्चन विच यू आर अटेम्प्टिंग। ठीक है, और जैसे आपको लग रहा है थर्ड क्वेश्चन में मैं 12 में से 11 तो पक्का कवर कर ही सकता हूँ आराम से, फिर वो फर्स्ट सिलेक्ट कर लो। फिर आपको लग रहा है 6 में मेरे को 10 जैसा पक्का आ सकता है, सो लाइकवाइज यू गो। ठीक है, सो दैट इज योर पॉइंट नंबर 1। पॉइंट नंबर 2, न्यू पेज से चालू करो आपके न्यू आंसर इन द सेंस इफ इट इज ABCD, तो ठीक है, अभी उसके अंदर आप अगर CABD कर रहे हो तो दैट इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लमेटिक थिंग। बट अगर आप ये करोगे ना, क्वेश्चन 1A, फिर क्वेश्चन 1B, फिर क्वेश्चन 1C, बिलीव मी क्वेश्चन 1A के आगे कोई मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे। क्वेश्चन आप कौन से भी सीक्वेंस में करो, दैट इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम। अंदर के सब क्वेश्चन साथ में ही रखने, इफ पॉसिबल सॉल्व इट इन सीक्वेंस, बट अगेन इसका कोई ये थंब रूल नहीं है कि सीक्वेंस में करो। आपको लग रहा है पहले C मुझे अच्छे से आ रहा है, अटेम्प्ट C फर्स्ट, फिर आपको लग रहा है A अच्छे से आ रहा है, देन अटेम्प्ट A पर। बट ये मत करो कि क्वेश्चन 1 के सब क्वेश्चन आधे लिखे फिर क्वेश्चन 2 चल गया, अगेन यू आर जंपिंग टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, बिलीव मी पीछे के मार्क्स गए आपके। हाँ, तो इसके लिए क्वेश्चन सिलेक्शन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। न्यू क्वेश्चन नए पेज पे लिखो और ट्राई टू राइट इट इन मिड ऑफ द पेज, ठीक है, एकदम बीच में लिखो, क्योंकि मार्जिन कभी कभी क्या होता है ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में, या तो कुछ जब आप अलग सप्लीमेंट लेते हो तो वो नॉट से बांधते हो तो क्या होता है कभी पेज पलटाने में इश्यू हो सकता है। तो क्वेश्चन एकदम बीच में लिखो, क्वेश्चन 1A, क्वेश्चन 1B, क्वेश्चन 1C, एकदम मिडल में लिखो। एंड हर एक आंसर का हेड नोट और सब हेड, ये दो जहां जहां पॉसिबल है, जहां जहां डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है, स्पेसिफिकली इन द पेपर ऑफ लॉ एंड ऑडिट, जहां जहां डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है आप हेड नोट दो। फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आपको डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन पूछा है राइट एनी 5 डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन ऑफ ऑडिटर, तो आप सेक्शन 141 सबसेक्शन 3 ये हेडिंग देके डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन ऑफ ऑडिटर ऑफ कंपनीज एक्ट, डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन ऑफ ऑडिटर, और नीचे कोई भी 5 अगर बोले तो 1 2 3 4 5 आप जो भी 5 लिखना चाहते हो लिखो। सो हेडिंग दे दो, हेडिंग दे दोगे तो क्लियर हो जाएगा। अच्छा, और व्हाट अबाउट सर केस स्टडीज, व्हाट अबाउट सर केस स्टडीज, केस स्टडीज का एक फॉर्मेट है एंड आई गेस टाइम टेस्टेड फॉर्मेट। मैं ज़्यादा तो कुछ पढ़ा नहीं, मैंने जितने भी एग्जाम दिए हैं ना, बिलीव मी आई हैव अप्लाइड इट एंड बिलीव मी आई स्कोर्ड वेरी वेल, वेरी वेल। सो ये एक टेक्निक है, ये कुछ स्टूडेंट देख रहे होंगे तो उनको पता होगा, मैं ये बात भी करता हूँ। तो ये टेक्निक समझो, ये 4 पार्ट में डिवाइडेड होना चाहिए आपका कोई भी केस स्टडी, कोई भी केस स्टडी, 4 मार्कर रहने दो, 5 मार्कर रहने दो, 6 मार्कर रहने दो। Those 4 part, first of all, applicable provision. Therefore, if you have note and pen, please note it down. First आपका आना चाहिए applicable provision. इसमें आपका अगर ऑडिटिंग है तो ऐसे, हाँ, या तो सेक्शन इफ इट इज लॉ, या तो अगर अकाउंटिंग में भी आप FR, टैक्सेशन, आगे जाके जो फाइनल के स्टूडेंट के लिए बोल रहा हूँ, अगर टैक्सेशन एंड ये सब है तो उसमें आपका सेक्शंस आएगा, AS आएगा। सो एप्लीकेबल प्रोविजन में आपको क्या लिखना है पता है, सिर्फ वो ऐसे AS या सेक्शन नंबर विद इट्स हेडिंग, जैसे 141 सबसेक्शन 3 डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन ऑफ ऑडिटर कंपनीज एक्ट 2013, 141 सबसेक्शन 3 ऑफ कंपनीज एक्ट 2013 डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन ऑफ ऑडिटर, बस यही 2 लाइन आनी चाहिए, वहां पे और कुछ मत लिखो। यहां से आपने क्या क्लियर कर दिया पता है पेपर चेकर को, मुझे सेक्शन पता है, आई नो दिस सेक्शन वेरी वेल, क्योंकि सेक्शन नंबर देने में ना 80% ऑफ द स्टूडेंट, आई एम ऑब्जर्विंग 80% ऑफ द स्टूडेंट सेक्शन लिखते ही नहीं, और 20 वो होते हैं जो पास कैटेगरी में आते हैं। तो प्लीज सेक्शन नंबर लिखना, बहुत जन बोलते हैं इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है यार, और फाइनल लेवल पे तो बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। इंटर लेवल पे चलो ठीक है, कुछ आंसर में लिखा, कुछ आंसर में नहीं लिखना, एक बार चल जाए। माय एडवाइस इज सब आंसर में होना चाहिए, उसके लिए मेहनत करो ना। उसके लिए क्या करना चाहिए, फुल स्केप पेपर लो, 2 फुल स्केप पेपर लो, अगर ज्यादा सेक्शन है तो सारे नोट डाउन कर डालो। रोज सुबह को उठ के 20 मिनट, अगर कोई वर्कआउट करता रहेगा तो उसको पता होगा रोज कैसा, रोज 1 घंटा 2 घंटा वर्कआउट को देते हो, सेम वे रोज 20 से 30 मिनट इसको दे दो रोज देखने का। बिलीव मी एट द एंड ऑफ द यू कैन से नियर द एग्जाम टाइम आपको बाय हार्ट होगा, बाय हार्ट होगा, बिलीव मी बाय हार्ट होगा, क्योंकि आपका रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस। आप बचपन में आपको 1-2 लिखने आता नहीं था, तभी आप वो पार्टी पेन लेके आपने लिखा है 1000 बार, इसके लिए आपको समझा है, ठीक है। सो वही टेक्निक है, तभी आप बच्चे थे, बड़ों का सुन लेते थे, अभी आप बड़े हो गए नहीं सुनते हो, बस दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम, बाकी वही टेक्निक है, टेक्निक कुछ भी चेंज नहीं हुई है। सो ये चीज ध्यान रखो, सेक्शन नंबर अगर पॉसिबल हो तो वहां पे ही आपका हाईलाइट हो गया, बिलीव मी पेपर चेकर इज इम्प्रेस्ड। उसके बाद आता है एक्सप्लेनेशन, अभी वो सेक्शन को एक्सप्लेन करो। यहाँ पे अब तक केस स्टडी का कुछ भी आया नहीं है, अभी सिर्फ एक्सप्लेनेशन है उस सेक्शन का। उसके बाद थर्ड पॉइंट आता है एप्लीकेशन ऑफ अबाव प्रोविजन टू द गिवन इंस्टेंस और केस, ये आपका होना चाहिए थर्ड पॉइंट, एप्लीकेशन ऑफ अबाव सेक्शन और अबाव प्रोविजन टू द गिवन केस, ये करके आपको हेडिंग देना है। उसके अंदर अभी क्या करो, मर्ज करो क्वेश्चन का सिचुएशन प्लस ये प्रोविजन, कहाँ पे इन लोग का मिलाप हो रहा है, कहाँ पे ये मिल रहा है, समझ रहा है, क्यों ये प्रोविजन ये केस को एप्लीकेबल है, ये लिखो। एंड फाइनली कंक्लूजन दो, दैट शुड बी द सीक्वेंस ऑफ योर आंसर, केस स्टडी वाला आंसर, ठीक है। बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट को मैंने देखा पहले ही ना क्वेश्चन नोट डाउन कर देते, अच्छा क्वेश्चन पेपर ही छापने का है क्या आपको, यहाँ पे आपका इंप्रेशन बहुत गलत जाता है, क्योंकि मेजोरिटी जिनको आंसर आता नहीं है, जो आंसर फेंकने वाले वो यही कर रहे हैं, या तो जो श्योर नहीं आंसर, ये पहले क्या कर देते, क्वेश्चन पूरा का पूरा क्वेश्चन छाप देते इधर, फिर बताते कि प्रोविजन क्या है आधा अधूरा लैंग्वेज में। दैट इज नॉट दी टेक्निक। प्रोफेशनल को ये पहले तो एप्लीकेबल प्रोविजन दो, फिर उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन दो, फिर ये केस कहाँ पे मर्ज हो रहा है ये प्रोविजन के साथ, एंड फाइनली द कंक्लूजन, दैट शुड बी द सीक्वेंसिंग ऑफ योर आंसर। सो आई होप ये आप फॉलो करना प्लीज प्लीज प्लीज। हाँ, तो मार्क्स बहुत अच्छे मिलेंगे, इट इज टाइम टेस्टेड थिंग। वेट योर आंसर एंड नॉट योर आंसर शीट प्लीज। और एग्जामिनेशन सिचुएशन इज लाइक वॉर जोन फॉर स्टूडेंट, ठीक है। अगर लास्ट इट हैपेंस आफ्टर 2.5 hours, अगर 2 घंटा या 2-2.5 घंटे के बाद है ना कोई एक आपके क्लासरूम में शायद आपको दिखेगा जो सप्लीमेंट मांग रहा है, और वो सुन के ना आप गया, और यार ये मांग रहा है, ये मांग रहा है, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मेरा आंसर ही पूरा नहीं हो रहा। अरे यार ये चीज नहीं होनी चाहिए, ये चीज बिल्कुल नहीं होनी चाहिए। बिलीव मी, इट इज क्वाइट रीजनेबल। 36 पेजेस आपको मिलते हैं आंसर्स लिखने के लिए, 38 होते हैं, बट पहले 2 पेज में इंस्ट्रक्शन एंड आपका फॉर्म फिलअप होता है, तो वो 2 को छोड़ दो, 36 पेजेस यू हैव। एंड बिलीव मी, आप सोच के अगर लिख रहे हो तो एक साइड 5 मिनट से ज्यादा, मतलब 5 मिनट तो लेगा यार, अगर मैं सोच के लिख रहा हूँ तो आप लॉजिकली भी सोचो 36 पेज के ऊपर जाना। समटाइम्स इट इज लाइक थियरी पेपर का बात कर रहा हूँ यार, ये बहुत ज्यादा हो गया, मतलब या तो सोच के नहीं लिख रहे हो या तो सिर्फ फेंक रहे हो यहाँ वहाँ का। आई एम नॉट सेइंग सप्लीमेंट लेना ही नहीं है, अगेन डोंट गेट मी रॉन्ग। आपको अगर लग रहा है कि आप रीजनेबल आंसर लिख रहे हो, आप मॉड्यूल का ही आंसर लिख रहे हो, मॉड्यूल जैसे ही आंसर लिख रहे हो और फिर जा रहा है, देन गो फॉर इट। बट बिलीव मी 90% ऑफ द केसेस इट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, क्योंकि आपको जितने कम वर्ड्स में ज्यादा बोल पाओगे वो ज्यादा इंप्रेस करने वाला है। कम से कम वर्ड्स में ज्यादा से ज्यादा नॉलेज दो ना। जो कम बोल के ज्यादा नॉलेज देता है ऑब्वियसली वो पेपर चेकर को भी फेवरेट होगा, ठीक है, उसको भी ज्यादा पढ़ना नहीं, आप स्टार्टिंग में ही बता देते हो और लास्ट में कंक्लूजन में आपने रिमार्क दे दिया ही इज गिल्टी ऑफ प्रोफेशनल मिसकंडक्ट और नॉट, ये आपने बता दिया, बात खत्म फॉर फाइनल ऑडिट्स, ठीक है। अभी कोई कोई कंक्लूजन को डिसीजन बोलता है, अरे यू आर नॉट जज, यू शुड नॉट डिसाइड, यू शुड कंक्लूड, मतलब आपको पूछा है कि क्या होना चाहिए तो आप वहां पे सजेस्ट करो, ही शुड नॉट, हाँ ही मस्ट नॉट, ये सब आप मत बोलो, और ऊपर से उसमें भी रॉन्ग आंसर होते हैं, डिसीजन में रॉन्ग आंसर। हाँ प्लीज अवॉइड दोस थिंग। वो केस लॉ, अगर मैं बात करूं सीए फाइनल, टैक्सेशन में जो केस लॉज आते हैं, केस लॉ में डिसीजन होते हैं, बिकॉज इट इज गिवन बाय जज, इट इज गिवन बाय ऑनरेबल हाई कोर्ट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट, तो यहाँ पे डिसीजन है, आप जो दे रहे हो कंक्लूजन है, आप और मैं जज नहीं है ना, जज कौन है, वो दे चुका है जजमेंट। तो फाइनल के पेपर, केस स्टडी और केस लॉ का फॉर्मेट ही अलग है। केस स्टडी का फॉर्मेट इज जो मैंने आपको बोला, क्या आना चाहिए, एप्लीकेबल प्रोविजन, एक्सप्लेनेशन, अप्लाइंग द अबव प्रोविजन टू द गिवन केस एंड कंक्लूजन। और केस लॉ का फॉर्मेट क्या होता है, फैक्ट्स ऑफ द केस, issues involved, observation by the courts, and finally decision by the judge or decision by the court. So फॉर्मेट अलग है, आप मर्ज मत कर दो दोनों। फाइनल लेवल पे तो स्ट्रांगली मैं बोल रहा हूँ, ठीक है। टैक्सेशन में वो जो केस लॉ उसमें कंक्लूजन बोलते हैं, अरे वहां पे डिसीजन हो गया, ये बात हो चुका है, इस पे जज ने डिसीजन दे चुका है। तो प्लीज डोंट वेट योर आंसर शीट, प्लीज वेट योर आंसर्स। जितना क्वालिटी आप लिख सकते हो उतना अच्छा, जितने कम से कम वर्ड्स में आप ज्यादा एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हो उतना अच्छा है। एवरेज आंसर बहुत जन मुझे पूछता है, मैं आपको पहले ही बोलता हूँ मॉड्यूल से अच्छा और कोई आंसर नहीं है। मॉड्यूल का लैंग्वेज अगर लिखोगे तो आपको यू मे एक्सपेक्ट फुल मार्क्स, यू मे एक्सपेक्ट एग्जाम्शन, बट और सी बेसिकली आप कोई और नोट्स ले रहे हो, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि जरूर नहीं पढ़ता है, रेफरेंस के लिए शायद जरूर पढ़े, बट इट मस्ट बी फॉर रेफरेंस, राइट। फिर क्या होता है, एग्जाम डेज में क्या हो जाता है, आपको 45 आवर्स ही मिल रहा है, लास्ट एग्जाम खत्म हो रहा है और ये एग्जाम चालू हो रहा है, इसके बीच में गैप कितना है, 45 आवर्स। अब क्या होता है, व्हेन आई एम हैविंग ऑप्शन के मेरे पास एक सिंपल लैंग्वेज, एक डिफिकल्ट लैंग्वेज है, मेरा माइंड हमेशा मेरे को पुश करेगा, अरे तूने सिंपल लैंग्वेज में से अब तक पढ़ा है ना, वही पढ़ना, फटाक से होएगा। सिंपल, डोंट गो फॉर सिंपल लैंग्वेज। अगर सिंपल काम करना है तो यू शुड नॉट बी अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट। हम डिफिकल्ट काम करने के लिए यहाँ पे आए हैं, तो यू मस्ट बी थरो विद द मॉड्यूल लैंग्वेज स्टडी मटेरियल ऑफ आईसीआई, ठीक है। सो आई ऑलवेज टीच फ्रॉम स्टडी मटेरियल ओनली। स्टूडेंट आस्क मी सर आपके नोट्स है क्या, मैं बोला ये नोट्स है ना, यही नोट्स में से आंसर लिखना है। हाँ, क्यों 2 नोट्स रेफर कर रहे हो, इंस्टीट्यूट का मटेरियल भी रेफर कर रहे हो, एक्स्ट्रा नोट्स भी रेफर कर रहे हो, व्हाई यू आर गोइंग फॉर 2 नोट्स व्हेन यू आर, क्या होता है आप स्टार्टिंग में बोलते हो मैं ये नोट से पढ़ूंगा और बाद में आगे जाके क्या कर लूंगा, स्टडी मटेरियल भी देख लूंगा। अरे भाई, आर वेस्टिंग योर टाइम। मतलब 2 चीज क्यों देखनी है, जब एक ही से पहली बार भी उसमें से पढ़ो, आखिरी बार भी उसमें से ही पढ़ो। एंड स्टडी मटेरियल इज एवरीथिंग फॉर इंटर, फाइनल, इवन फाउंडेशन। मैं फाउंडेशन से ही बोलता हूँ, स्टडी मटेरियल आपका यू कैन से बाइबल, कुरान, गीता जो भी है वो स्टडी मटेरियल ही, तो वहां से ही पढ़ो, ठीक है। केस स्टडी का फॉर्मेट बोल दिया, केस लॉ का फॉर्मेट बोल दिया, डिस्टिंग्विश्ड काइंड ऑफ आंसर्स आते हैं, रेयरली आते बट आते हैं, तो उसमें आपको वो अभी डूज एंड डोंट्स वाला फॉर्मेट यूज नहीं करना, बचपन था वो। नाउ यू शुड यूज वेरेस, वेरेस से कनेक्ट करो। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ऑडिटिंग must be done by a chartered accountant who is in practicing in India, whereas investigation may be done by CA or non-CA. It can be done by any person. So जो whereas से कनेक्ट किया वो स्टेटमेंट अभी स्टेटमेंट फॉर्म में आपको लिखना है, समझ रहे हो, डूज एंड डोंट्स फॉर्म अभी नहीं चलेगा। इफ बहुत सारे आप सजेस्टेड आंसर्स में देखोगे, ऑडिटिंग का ऊपर दे दिया, इन्वेस्टिगेशन का नीचे दे दिया, तो ऐसा शॉर्ट नोट टाइप में देते हैं। बट बिलीव मी, इफ इट इज आस्क्ड एज अ डिस्टिंग्विश, तो आपको डिस्टिंग्विश के लिए वेरेस कनेक्ट कर दो और स्टेटमेंट लिख डालो, 3-4 जो भी है, मॉड्यूल में 3-4 है तो 3-4 ही लिखो। अगर एडिशनल लिखने जा रहे हो तो प्लीज रिमेंबर इट मस्ट बी लॉजिकल, आपके बाहर का कुछ भी नहीं आना चाहिए, समझ रहा है? कुछ भी मतलब कुछ भी मत फेंको, बस दैट इज माय पॉइंट. इफ यू कैन मेक वैलिड फिफ्थ पॉइंट यू डू इट, बट इफ नॉट देन प्लीज डोंट गो के यार 4 मार्क का सवाल है, 8 मार्क का सवाल है, 4 ही पॉइंट. व्हेन आई वाज अपियरिंग इन फाइनल, इसका करके एक पेपर होता था आईटी एनसीए फाइनल, अलग लेवल का था. नाउ यू ऑल आर ब्लेस्ड के वो है नहीं, मतलब वो डिफिकल्ट हुआ करता था बहुत. तो उसमें मैंने, मेरे एग्जामिनेशन का बात कर रहा हूँ, 4 लाइन का आंसर था, 4 से 5 लाइन का आंसर था 8 मार्क के लिए. अब यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट क्या सोचता है, यहाँ पे अरे कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, ऐसा कैसे सिंपल निकाल सकता है. नाउ यू आर क्वेश्चनिंग योरसेल्फ. जब इजी पूछता है तभी आपको खुद से ही दिक्कत है. ये नहीं होना चाहिए. प्लीज 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 नोट दैट. जो आप कंसेप्चुअल क्लियर हो ना, जो आंसर आपको क्वेश्चन देख के समझ रहे हैं वही आंसर लिखो. हाँ, इंस्टीट्यूट बराबर से पूछता है, आपको अगर सब कुछ आता रहेगा तो इजी जाता है आपका पेपर, ठीक है. एंड पैरा फॉर्मेट में आंसर लिखो जैसे आपके मॉड्यूल में है. अभी वो बुलेट पॉइंट देके ABCD ऐसा के ऐसा आंसर मत लिखो. प्रोफेशनल एग्जाम है, पैरा फॉर्मेट में ही लिखो, ठीक है. जैसे मैंने आपको अभी 4 पॉइंट बोले, केस स्टडी केस लॉ हेडिंग है वो, उसके अंदर आपको पैरा फॉर्मेट में ही लिखना है. बुलेट पॉइंट मत दो, हर एक स्टेटमेंट को बुलेट मत दो. दैट इज नॉट प्रोफेशनल आंसर, ठीक है. एमसीक्यू का बात करूं तो एमसीक्यू में आपको 30 मार्क्स के एमसीक्यू है. जब आया था तब स्टूडेंट बहुत खुश हो गए थे कि आया मजा आएगा, विथ नो नेगेटिव मार्किंग. अरे और मजा आ गया. उसके बाद 2 अटेम्प्ट के बाद लोग बोलने लगा रहे क्यों आया. बट बिलीव मी, यू दीज क्वेश्चंस आर गेम चेंजर. अगर आपने मॉड्यूल का हर एक लाइन अच्छे से पढ़ा है, अगर आपका कंसेप्ट बहुत अच्छा है, बिलीव मी 22 to 24 इज वेरी इजी फॉर. अगर आपने मॉड्यूल से पढ़ाई किया अच्छे से, व्हेन आई एम सेइंग पढ़ाई किया है, व्हेन आई एम सेइंग पढ़ाई किया मतलब विदाउट सेल फोन, एकदम फोकस से, कंसेप्चुअल नॉलेज के साथ, खुद के नोट्स बना के अलॉन्ग विद इट, तो ये अगर आपने किया, बिलीव मी यू आर गेटिंग 24 to 25 मार्क्स. आधा गेम खत्म हो गया ना यहाँ पे, समझ रहे हैं? आई नेवर से 50 पे कॉन्सेंट्रेट करो, ऑलवेज गो फॉर एग्जाम्शन. एग्जाम्शन के अलावा होना ही नहीं चाहिए. आप जो 12th में 90% सोचते थे ना और आया भी रहेगा, वो अभी 60 के लिए भी रो रहे हैं, समझ रहे हैं? आप बोलोगे सर एग्जाम का लेवल बढ़ा, आप क्यों अपना लेवल नहीं बढ़ा रहे यार? आप भी अपना लेवल बढ़ा दो. 90 इज क्वाइट, आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड, बट 60 प्लस तो यार आराम से हो सकता है. तो प्लीज 60 प्लस पे फोकस करो, ये आप ला सकते हो. हाँ, बिल्कुल भी कुछ गलत नहीं है. मैंने ये भी देखा है 60 वाला मेहनत कर करके 12th में 60% आया, मेहनत कर करके ऑल इंडिया रैंक इन ऑल 3 लेवल्स. और मैंने ये भी देखा है कि 90% आया 12th में, 99% आया 12th में, फाउंडेशन नहीं गया हो, समझ रहा है? सो प्लीज, past performance never matters, it is your current hard work on which you should focus upon. So MCQs आएगा, ये गेम चेंजर होगा. अभी 2 टाइप के क्वेश्चन आते हैं आपके MCQs में. पहला आता है नॉलेज एंड एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन. वो इंडिविजुअल होगा, इंडिविजुअल क्वेश्चन होगा. ऑब्वियसली आप ये मत सोचो 1 लाइनर या 2 लाइनर होगा, हो सकता है, आई एम नॉट सेइंग नहीं होगा, हो सकता है, ठीक है, शायद हो सकता है, बट पकड़ के चलो कि 10-12 लाइन आपको दिखेंगे, ठीक है. क्योंकि माइंडसेट आपका रहता है 1 लाइनर दिखेगा, फिर उधर दिखता है 10 लाइन, फिर आपको लगता है 1 मार्क के लिए 10 लाइन पढ़ना, उससे अच्छा 7 पार्ट बी पहले चालू करते हैं. वो गलत हो जाएगा, ये गलत हो जाएगा. ओके, सो आप माइंडसेट के साथ जाओ. पहले के पूछने वाले थोड़ा बड़ा क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, बट एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड होगा, ज्यादा कुछ प्रॉब्लमेटिक नहीं होगा. जैसे कारों का सवाल आ सकता है कि कारों में चलो ये प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी है, उसमें 4 जो क्राइटेरिया है फुलफिल हो रहा है क्या, तो कारों एग्जाम करना नहीं, ठीक है. सो ऐसा काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन यू मे एक्सपेक्ट. और दूसरा होता है इंटीग्रेटेड केस स्टडी बेस्ड क्वेश्चन. तो उसमें केस दिया होगा और उसके नीचे 5 या 6 आंसर क्वेश्चंस दिए होंगे, उसका वेटेज 2-2 मार्क का होता है. इंटीग्रेटेड क्वेश्चन का जनरली वेटेज इज फॉर 2 मार्क्स. सो यहाँ पे आपको पैरा बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ना हो. दिया क्या ऊपर, केस स्टडी दिया क्या है, और ऐसा नहीं होगा, इट इज नॉट लाइक अगेन योर 8, 9, 10 स्टैंडर्ड कि वही पैरा का आंसर वहाँ पे कॉपी पेस्ट कर दो. ये तो आप समझते हो, अभी ये मुझे इंटर फाइनल के बच्चों को बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. तो वहां पे आपको क्या करना है, वो रिलेवेंट ऐसे एएस सेक्शन को मर्ज करो विद दैट पैरा और फिर आपको आंसर लिखना है. अगेन 2 मार्क का क्वेश्चन है, इसमें आपको ज्यादा लेंथ पे जाना ही नहीं. लेंथी आंसर्स आर नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, क्वालिटी आंसर इज रिक्वायर्ड. तो जो जो क्वेश्चन पूछा है उसके साथ आंसर रिलेट कर दो और आंसर लिख दो. सो दैट इज ऑल अबाउट योर एमसीक्यू पैटर्न्स. नेक्स्ट इज टाइमलीनेस ऑफ योर आंसर. सर कैसे डिवाइड करें टाइम? देखो आपका जो क्वेश्चन पार्ट ए है 30 MCQ, बिलीव मी 1 घंटा आप पकड़ के चलो, 1 घंटा, उससे थोड़ा ज्यादा भी जाएगा, 1 आवर और 1 आवर एंड 10 मिनट्स, दैट शुड बी योर टाइम लिमिट. इतने तक में खत्म हो जाना चाहिए. इसको आपको मैनेज करना पड़ेगा। हर एमसीक्यू के लिए 2 से 3 मिनट, 2 से 3 मिनट सोचो लिखो, इसमें हो जाना चाहिए, ठीक है। उसके बाद मार्क करो, मार्क करो, तो इसमें आपका 2 मिनट में हो जाता है, 2 से 3 मिनट। चलो इंटीग्रेटेड है तो 3 मिनट 4 मिनट लगा, दैट इज ओके। नेक्स्ट थिंग, अभी पार्ट बी चालू होता है, तो क्वेश्चन 1 इज कंपलसरी बट नॉट कंपलसरी एट द फर्स्ट प्लेस, ठीक है। आपको अगर लग रहा है क्वेश्चन 1 इज रॉकेट, अभी क्वेश्चन 1 में थोड़ा हो सकता है माइंडसेट से खेले पेपर सेटर, क्योंकि है ना ICA का एग्जाम है, तो क्वेश्चन 1 शायद डिफिकल्ट कर दे, बट आगे आगे जब एंड तक आओगे पता चलेगा अरे यार ये तो सारे मैनेजेबल क्वेश्चंस है। तो पहले आपने 15 मिनट में अगर पूरा अच्छे से पढ़ा होगा तो आपको समझ जाएगा। डोंट पैनिक, क्वेश्चन 1 अगर डिफिकल्ट निकला तो आगे बहुत ईजी। जब ये क्वेश्चन 1 में पैनिक कर गया बच्चा, बिलीव मी उसका आगे का बैंड बच जाएगा। आई एम नॉट सेइंग इट इज अ स्टैंडर्ड थिंग, बट हुआ है, बहुत बार हुआ है, क्वेश्चन 1 में रॉकेट क्वेश्चन आ सकता है। सो क्वेश्चन 1 अटेम्प्ट तो करना है, कहाँ पे वो आप प्लेस करोगे पहले 15 मिनट में। अब जब आप हर एक क्वेश्चन को कितना टाइम देना चाहिए, 20 मिनट्स एट मैक्स, 20 मिनट्स ओवरऑल क्वेश्चन का बात कर रहा हूँ। ओवरऑल क्वेश्चन 1 है 20 to 22 मिनट्स, क्वेश्चन 2 है 20 to 22 मिनट्स, इतने में अगर हो जाएगा तो यू काउंट योर सेल्फ, बिलीव मी 3 घंटे के ऊपर नहीं जाता, 2 hour 45 मिनट्स, 2 hour 50 मिनट्स में खत्म हो जाता है। समझ रहा है? क्वेश्चन पढ़ो, क्वेश्चन अगर क्वेश्चन को आपने समझ लिया ना, क्वेश्चन को समझ लिया तो आपका आधे से ज्यादा काम खत्म होता है, आधे से ज्यादा काम खत्म होता है, ठीक है। प्रॉपरली अंडरस्टूड क्वेश्चन विल फेच यू 50%। वहां पे आप समझ गए हो क्वेश्चन, अभी आपको आंसर आ रहा है, आपका आंसर का सीक्वेंस ही रेडी करो। कोई स्टूडेंट क्या करता है, कैंसिलेशन क्यों होने का रीजन है, पहले आपने आंसर सोचा नहीं, आपने माइंडसेट बनाया नहीं, आप लिखते गए, फिर आपको पीछे से एक पॉइंट याद है, पीछे से एक पॉइंट निकालना है, chaos हो जाएगा। आई एम नॉट सेइंग हैंड राइटिंग खराब है तो मार्क्स आएंगे, मतलब ऑब्वियसली लेजिबल होने चाहिए, दैट इज द रिक्वायरमेंट। हैंड राइटिंग इज गॉड गिफ्ट, ठीक है, किसका, मेरा खुद का इतना अच्छा नहीं है, सो आई नो, बट प्रेजेंटेशन इज शुड बी प्रॉपर। कैंसिलेशन बहुत बार हो रहा है, एक आंसर में 8 बार हो रहा है, बिलीव अच्छा नहीं लगता ना आंसर, मतलब आप बहुत कंफ्यूज हो आंसर लिखते हैं, इट शोज आपका मेंटालिटी वो बता देता है। तो प्लीज पहले आंसर स्ट्रक्चर में बांध के लो। अगर 4 मार्क का क्वेश्चन है, आपको 8 से 9 मिनट मिल रहा है, प्रॉपरली अटेम्प्ट करके छोड़ दो। 7-8 मिनट मिल रहा है, प्रॉपरली सीक्वेंस करो 30 सेकेंड्स के लिए और फिर लिखो। लिखने में टाइम ज़्यादा नहीं लगेगा अगर आपने प्रॉपरली सीक्वेंस करके रखा है। So that is the point. Use technical terms and not layman language. As I said, auditing में if you are writing major mistake instead of material misstatement, अरे गलत, एक सीए स्टूडेंट ऐसे आंसर नहीं लिखना चाहिए, आई बिलीव, क्योंकि आप आगे जाके ऑडिट कर, एंड ऑडिट सब्जेक्ट को पता नहीं स्टूडेंट इतना डरते हैं या लाइटली लेते हैं, जो भी है, बट इट विल लास्ट विथ यू टिल योर लास्ट ब्रेथ। अब सीए है तो ऑडिटिंग करने वाला, आप वेदर यू बी इन प्रैक्टिस, वेदर यू बी इन कंपनी में रहोगे तो आपको ऑडिटर के वो ही पकड़ाने वाला है। आप अगर काम कर रहे हो, आप अगर चीफ फाइनेंस ऑफिसर हो या तो अकाउंटिंग हेड हो, तो ऑडिटर आके आपके साथ ही बात करेगा, तो आपको ऑडिटिंग का नॉलेज होना चाहिए। ऑडिटर क्या मांगेगा, कब मांगेगा, उसको क्या एक्सप्लेनेशन देना, क्या नहीं देना है, दैट यू मस्ट बी नोइंग। बिजनेस कर रहे हो तो ऑडिटर को बुलाओगे, तो ऑडिटर क्या मांग सकता है, क्या देना चाहिए, क्या नहीं, आपको पता होना चाहिए। तो ये सब्जेक्ट का तो इंपॉर्टेंस बहुत ज्यादा है, तो डरो मत इससे, ये इंपॉर्टेंट है। और बस सिर्फ पढ़ेंगे पूरा अच्छे से, लैंग्वेज थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट है, लैंग्वेज के लिए राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस करो। एज श्रीनिवास सर ऑल्सो करेक्टली सेड, राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस इज मस्ट। अगर ये भूल गए तो बिलीव मी आपका लैंग्वेज पे कमांड नहीं रहेगा, यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा। अगेन डोंट ट्राई टू फूल द पेपर चेकर, डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा आपके लिए भी और हमारे लिए भी। सो प्लीज डोंट ट्राई टू फूल द पेपर चेकर, आप डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच मत करो, ठीक है। सो दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माई साइड, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग। आई हैव कवर्ड फ्यू पॉइंट्स विच आर मेजर क्वेरी ऑफ मेनी स्टूडेंट, सो आई गेस दैट विल डू। एंड लास्ट में सिर्फ एक बोलना चाहूँगा, मेहनत इतनी कर कि नाम और शोहरत तेरे पीछे भागे, मेहनत इतनी कर के नाम और शोहरत तेरे पीछे भागे, आज शायद करना पड़े परिश्रम और शायद देर रातों को तेरी आंखें भी जागे, बट एक दिन जरूर आएगा मेरे दोस्त जब तेरी हकीकत बहुत बड़ी होगी, उस बंद आंखों के देखे सपने के सामने आगे। So that's all from my side. Thanks a lot, Vikasa team, whole team, to give me a chance to serve our student and ICA. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. You enlightened us so much. Paper writing presentation plus mindset thing. We were like, आपकी वो एक बात बहुत ये आई कि time will pass but will you? And that दिल पे चुप गई वो बात कि time will pass will you? But that is the truth. That's the bitter truth which we'll have to like understand, and that will help us in the future also. So I really thank you a lot for spending your valuable time and helping us all with how to write paper and how to deal with theory subjects. Thank you, sir. So, without any further delay, let me introduce our next speaker for the session, CA Deepak Ukidave, sir. Sir has been with us for a long time since the session has started, and I'm very happy to see you, sir. He has a work experience of 10 years in industry and 18 years of teaching experience. My goodness, sir. Okay, and faculty with ICI BOS. So, sir, I would like you to take over the session and enlighten us. Thank you. Hello, sir. Unmute.
Yeah, you will have to give me the okay.
Yes. Okay.
Correct. Good evening to all the student friends. I must thank WICASA team, Thane WICASA team, for organizing this Examniti event, and that too 1 month before the commencement of the exam. So it is at the right time. Thank you, Shrutika and Sanika, also for coordinating, of course, with your entire team, and under the guidance of course, CA Rahul Gharat sir. So thanks to every one of you. Many of you would have met me during our GMCS or orientation course. I'm not too sure, but yes, I can see some familiar names. I'm regular faculty for GMCS and for orientation on behalf of BOS at various locations, that is at BKC, at Thane, and so on. And therefore, in that capacity, I would have interacted with many of you, particularly for soft skill sessions. Now, today we are here for academic session. That is how to crack the exam in the first attempt as much as possible, how to get that success, and what are those success mantras. So it's a right time when Thane WICASA has organized this event, and I have been given the responsibility to speak on practical subjects. Thanks to Tejas sir, because he has covered very nicely theory subjects like auditing or law. And yes, sir, you have covered really nicely that theory subject is a monster generally, including all of us when we passed out our exams, because we used to depend only on practical subjects for getting aggregate 50 marks. Yes, and हम लोग हमेशा बोलते थे theory subjects, even if I get around 45, 48, 50, I'm more than happy. You know, that should be the mindset. But of course, this is changing over a period of time, because nowadays students, when I look at the mark sheets of the students, the results, the scorecards, I find that even in theory subjects also students get good marks. And these are the students who have, of course, conceptual clarity, 100% conceptual clarity. They have done a lot of hard work. They have taken out their notes and studied very hard. And that is why they are in a position to write answers to theory questions to the point. And of course, under the guidance of faculty members like Tejas, Shah, and others who have been helping them out how to write answers to theory papers. So of course, theory paper also no longer is a monster, but it's a scoring subject for many students, those who have fundamental understanding of the subject. I have been given responsibility to speak about the practical subjects, and therefore I will restrict my discussion to practical subjects. Yes, I just now said practical subjects are most scoring, and we all faculty members. So there is a note from Tejas Shah. Okay, no, he has thanked WICASA team. We all faculty members, we always tell students that you must score maximum marks in practical papers, so that getting aggregate 50 at a professional exam like this CA is very easy. Talking about practical papers, the first thing what comes to my mind is myth of the students, or the misconception of the students, and that is about the stepwise marking. So let me give clarity on that. That yes, of course, there is stepwise marking. Some of you might have appeared for one or the other attempt and have seen those who are appearing for final paper have already completed their CA intermediate, and they know that there is stepwise marking. So in practical subjects, even if the final answer goes wrong, you get some marks. If it is a numerical question of 8 marks or 10 marks, you can score at least 2, 3, 4, 5 marks depending on the extent to which you have solved that question correctly. So there are stepwise marks in practical subjects as well. But please, my friends, don't carry the wrong impression. These are not the stepwise marks for writing the formulae. These are not the stepwise marks which you think of. The marks are given for the steps, right? That is for the control figures which are required to be arrived at, the key figures which are required to be arrived at in order to proceed further. And there are in practical problems at every stage, at every juncture, there are key figures or control figures. And unless you get those key figures or control figures, you cannot proceed with your analysis. So you are required to work out those control figures correctly. And at that stage, at that juncture, you get credit points. If any figure you have reproduced from the question paper as it is, copied from the question paper, then there is no weightage for that because you have not done any value addition. But wherever you do some additional operation, right, in terms of calculating some ratios, calculating some percentages, etc., then for such additional work done, yes, there is some credit point. So credit points are given for the additional efforts that are put in and not for just picking up the data from the question paper and putting it into the answer sheet. So just उतारने के कोई मार्क नहीं है, क्वेश्चन पेपर का डेटा उतारने के कोई मार्क नहीं है. You have to do analysis of the data, do some intermediate calculations, do some steps, and then for those steps you get the marks. And therefore, please remove this wrong notion if at all you have from your mind, and that is marks are not deducted 100%. Marks are not deducted 100% even if final answer is wrong. Even if final answer is wrong, marks are given for the correct steps and for the control figures. This is the first thing I would like to clarify. And of course, you are free to ask questions on this also. Nowadays, you are allowed to get the answer paper copies. So at the end of the exam, you are sure that you will clear the exam. But just for whatever reason, if a student is not able to pass out, he or she can always obtain the copy of the answer paper and look for the mistakes and compare that answer paper with the suggested answer, which is also uploaded on the institute's website immediately after the results. So the system is so transparent nowadays that immediately you come to know where you have made the mistake and accordingly you can improve upon. Same logic applies while studying for the exam, and therefore you must refer to the institute's publications. Srinivas Joshi sir also mentioned the same thing. Even Tejas sir also highlighted the importance of institute's modules. By this time, I'm sure all of you would have completed minimum one reading of the module. I'm saying minimum one reading. Some might have completed even more also because May exam would not be held. So those who were planning to appear for May, of course, by this time would have done 2 revisions or 3 revisions, quite possible. But minimum one reading of the module is required. And don't go outside the module, because generally if you study the past question papers, you will find the trend is to ask questions from the module itself. So nothing is outside the syllabus, nothing is asked outside the module. So stick to the module. This is my first humble request to all of you. Of course, apart from the module, you have additional practice questions given in the practice manual, but this practice manual has been done away with. Now in the new syllabus, you don't have PM, practice manual is not there, but those who are going to appear under old syllabus, they have practice manual as well. And sometimes questions are repeated as it is or with some modifications here and there from the practice manual also. So if you are a new syllabus student and if you can get hold of practice manual in some practical subjects, yeah, I will say some practical subjects where there are no much changes. Take for example, subject like cost and management accounting at intermediate, subject like financial management or strategic financial management, where there are no much changes. You can pick up the questions from the practice manual, solve those questions for additional practice. And of course, the solution is also given over there. So you can learn from the solution what are the areas of mistake, where have you committed the mistake. You can learn from that. So second source is of course practice manual after doing the module. The third one is suggested answers. I would advise students to study from the past suggested answers for the question papers in last 5 years. That means 10 attempts. You may say that, sir, only 4 attempts have been completed after the new syllabus was designed. Yes, May 18, November 18, May 19 and November 19. 4 attempts have been over of the new syllabus. So sir, how and why are you saying 5 years? As I said, there are certain topics which have remained the same, whether it is old syllabus or new syllabus, and there are no much changes. So nothing stops you from referring to a question paper and a suggested answer, particularly 5 years back. Say, for example, in May 15 or in November 15, what was asked, you can study those questions along with the solution, suggested answer, nothing wrong. I can give examples of topics like transfer pricing. In CA final, you have a subject, strategic cost management. In strategic cost management, transfer pricing topic was there when I passed out CA final. Right from that time, that topic continues. Or divisional performance evaluation, divisional performance analysis. That means how to calculate ROI, RI, residual income, return on investment, EVA, economic value added, and so on. These topics have remained the same right from my time. There has been no change at all. And therefore, nothing stops an examiner from picking up a paper of, say, May 15 or November 15, which so many students might not have referred to, and ask the question from that question paper, quite possible. And after solving 20 questions of similar type, still the student may wonder, where is this question? Whereas, what is the source of this question? It may have been asked from the past exams or past question paper or past suggested answer. And therefore, do not lose sight of last 10 attempts question papers, at least for certain topics. You should do the mapping of the topic, mapping of the syllabus. That is what my humble request to you. So each and every topic you don't have to study, only as per your syllabus, what is there in the new syllabus, or even for that matter old syllabus, you have to refer only those topics from the past suggested answer. If certain topics are omitted or deleted from the new syllabus, then you don't have to study, obviously, right? But common topics like, as I said, transfer pricing, or in cost and management accounting at intermediate, you have marginal costing, CVP analysis, decision making questions, right from my time, these topics continue. Make versus buy, continue versus shutdown, optimal product mix. Where is the change? It has been, these questions have been there right from my time. So therefore, you must solve as many questions as possible, practical questions for all practical subjects. Repeated practice of solving these questions, numerical questions, repeated practice, I'm saying, will definitely give you that confidence, right? I would go out of the way and say, intermediate student, if you want to really understand CVP analysis, marginal costing, something like 500 plus questions you must have solved. It is not an exaggeration, but that's a fact. 500 plus questions when you solve on marginal costing, CVP analysis, decision making of different types at intermediate level. The conceptual clarity, 100% confidence you will get. Of course, at final level, you don't need to do that, because by then the basic fundamental has been built up. So these are some of the sources for practical papers. Like, as I said, module, second one, that is questions which are given in the module, the suggested answers for the past 5 years, that is the 10 attempts question papers, the RTP revision test paper. RTP is generally published say 2 months prior to the commencement of the exam, and therefore for November 20 the RTP has been published now. You can see on the portal, on ICI BOS knowledge portal, you will find the RTP has been published for November 20, right? Don't ignore any question from the RTP. मैं इतनी पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ, why I should leave anything uncovered? That is my take. When I am putting so much efforts in preparing for CA exam, why should I leave something which is uncovered? So I will, whether important, not important, I don't know. Whether questions are going to be asked from RTP, not going to be asked, I don't know. But let me cover each and every question given in the RTP. And yes, students generally do this analysis and they say that yes, some of the RTP is a mirror of the main exam paper. That is what students comment. We faculty members, we never say like this, because you have to do thorough study. You don't have to omit anything, you don't have to leave anything for option. But students do the trend analysis and they comment like this, that RTP is a reflection of the main exam paper, right? Whatever is given in the RTP is an indication, and that is some of the questions with some cosmetic changes, some modifications here and there are covered in the main exam. True, not true, we don't want to go into that controversy, but definitely you should not omit or ignore any of the questions given in the RTP. Right from my time when I passed out long time back, since that time RTP Institute has maintained the practice of publishing the RTP, and mind well, it is ICAI publication. If anything is ICAI publication from exam point of view, I will not omit at all. I will not ignore or overlook any question given in the RTP. 100% coverage of each and every question in RTP is must. That is the next source you have to refer to. If you go to the BOS knowledge portal, you will find there are updates which are given, particularly for, since Sourabh sir is not there, I will also talk about the tax papers. For tax papers, the assessment year matters. All of you are writing the exam in November 20, for which the financial year applicable is 1920 financial year, that is assessment year 2021. So all provisions applicable to that assessment year, you will find a quick referencer, a quick update or quick revision that is given on ICI knowledge portal, that is BOS knowledge portal, and therefore don't miss out on that quick referencer or the updates. There is something called corrigendum also. Wherever there are some printing errors or typo errors in the study material, particularly in final subject CFR, the FR, paper number 1, financial reporting, you will find there are some places printing errors or typo errors or some calculation errors also, interpretation errors as well. You know, Ind AS has already settled in now, and for all, particularly for CA final, for FR paper, financial reporting paper, Ind AS is going to prevail. All questions you are going to answer in light of Ind AS itself. So there are possibilities where some amendments might have taken place, some modifications in Ind AS, and you may be carrying the old edition of the module, old edition of the study material. And to help such students who are having old edition of the study material, you might have registered for CA final 2 years back or 1.5 years back, and you may have the old module. In that case, you can refer to those corrigendum which are given in the institute's website. Don't miss out. Otherwise, you will carry wrong answer with you. And in case same to same question is asked in the exam, particularly in FR, your approach will go wrong, and you will say, sir, suggested answer, it was, sorry, the module, the answer was given like this. Why I have been given wrong? Because there is a corrigendum in the module to the answer given in the module. So please don't omit. Wherever you have a doubt and feel that, yes, this looks a little different, you know, as compared to the present stand, the present amendment, then quickly refer to the corrigendum. And, or rather, I would say the other way, you should study the corrigendum first and look for the changes and make necessary updations in your module. That is a must. Also, in the BOS knowledge portal, you are given quick revision referencer for quick revision. This is particularly helpful for subjects like financial management, or in final, you have strategic financial management, SFM paper number 2, right? Which is a lot of numerical questions are asked. It is predominantly a numerical paper, SFM, right? And you have referencer for quick revision. That referencer for quick revision gives all the information like formulae, tables or charts in a capsule form. You'll find everything given in that box or in that capsule. And particularly in last 1 month, when you don't have so much of time to go through each and every line by line understanding of the module, that's over. I need to quickly refresh my memory. I want to quickly refer to what I have already studied, do a quick revision. Then the best way to refer to is this referencer for quick revision, which is available on our BOS knowledge portal. And that will give you all the information in capsule form, particularly the formulae tables. So many formulae are there in security analysis, in portfolio management. I'm talking about paper like SFM, or even in intermediate, you have papers in financial management, cost and management accounting, where there are formulae, and those formulae are given in the box. Some information is given also in charts. Some formulae or tables are given in capsule form in bold, so quickly that catches the attention. See, visual impact is always better. When you look at some information like this in a box, you know that is restored and that is registered over here. So at the time of exam, we are able to do the mapping. इसको बोलते हैं mapping, brain mapping. What is brain mapping? Brain mapping is feeding in the information, right, to the brain, and then retrieving that information, right, at the relevant time, right, in the right form. That is brain mapping. So we are able to do that brain mapping, particularly when we refer to such charts or graphs or boxes, tables, formulae in a capsule form. And from that point of view, the referencer for quick revision, which is there, the title itself is called Referencer for Quick Revision. It is there on ICI Knowledge Portal. If you just refer to the BOS Knowledge Portal, you will find all these things: corrigendum, updates, then referencer for quick revision, also the amendments, particularly from tax point of view, direct tax and indirect tax. So many amendments are there. All amendments which have taken place 6 months prior to the exam. Last 6 months, whatever amendments are there are not applicable. But prior to 6 months before the exam, whatever amendments have taken place, they all are part of the syllabus, and therefore you should refer to those amendments for tax paper particularly. So I have covered about RTP. I have covered about the suggested answers. There is one more thing which Tejas sir also mentioned, and Joshi sir also mentioned, and that was about the mock test papers. You must solve mock test papers. I remember for May 20 or maybe earlier attempt, I may be wrong, there were 2 series of mock test papers, mock test paper series 1 and series 2. But now you have only 1 series of mock test paper. At least you must solve 1 series of mock test paper, right? Each subject, you must solve the mock test paper under exam conditions, looking at 3 hours, so 15 minutes reading time, and then 3 hours writing time. At least you will come to know that you have great knowledge. But are you able to articulate that knowledge? Articulate means express that knowledge in the right words. Can you express your views, your opinions, your analysis in the right words? You will come to know. And compare those answer papers, what you have written to the mock test papers, with the suggested answer which is already uploaded. So there are mock test papers and there is suggested answer to the mock test papers. So you can refer to the suggested answer immediately, and you yourself can evaluate. Be independent and impartial when you are doing the evaluation of mock test papers. Or if you are not sure, then you can involve some senior member of the institute, some senior faculty, right, who have been into this teaching of that relevant subject, the subject expert. As I said, you can always refer to the subject expert and get your papers assessed or evaluated from exam point of view. If you feel that you are not doing justice on your own, then you can get it done from the expert on the subject. That is also possible. But writing mock test papers, you cannot dilute, you cannot do away with. Please remember, 1 series of mock test paper in each subject you must have written at least once before the exam. Otherwise, it becomes a direct attempt in the exam during those 3 hours. Yes, from where to start? How do I express? I have a lot of chaos and confusion in my mind. I have a lot of knowledge. Last 1 year I have been, I must say, last 1 year I have been studying, because right from May 20 also some students are studying. That exam never happened. So last 1 year I have been studying, but now there is total confusion and chaos. Now, how do I put together all my thoughts? So there has to be some sincere approach, and therefore methodical approach, and therefore you must solve the mock test papers. I will not certainly allow you to dilute that part. Already mock test papers are uploaded on the institute's website. Tejas sir talked about the case study analysis. Here I will divide the paper. Numerical papers also are mainly 100-mark papers, which are numerical, but some theory part is also involved. You will find question number 1 is compulsory. I'm talking about new syllabus now. In new syllabus, numerical subjects, question number 1 is compulsory, and from remaining 5 questions, attempt any 4 questions. That is the pattern. Each question carries, say, 20 marks, where there is no MCQ. Please listen to me very carefully. Papers where there are no MCQs, for example, numerical subjects like cost accounting, management accounting, financial management in intermediate, or advanced accounting in intermediate, or you have strategic financial management, FR in CA final. These are numerical subjects where there are no MCQs, no multiple choice question. There, question number 1 is compulsory, carrying 20 marks. And out of remaining 5 questions, you have to attempt any 4 questions. Again, each question will carry 20 marks. Now, though it is a numerical subject, these are numerical subjects, but if you study the pattern of the question paper in the new syllabus particularly, you will find that yes, in every question, question, there is 4 mark, 6 mark theory that is covered. So if it is question number 1 is of course a case study question covering all the numerical part, etc. 20 marks case study. For example, in paper like SFM, Strategic Financial Management, or you may have 4 sub questions of 5 marks each. So 5 marks each question, 4 sub questions A, B, C, D, and all 4 are numerical. Yeah, quite possible. So question 1 that way is very scoring in papers like SFM, Strategic Financial Management, in CA final. But from remaining questions, remaining 5 questions, you have to attempt any 4. Each question carries 20 marks. The breakup of that question is A, B, and C. 8 plus 8 plus 4. Study the pattern very carefully. 8 plus 8 plus 4. 8, 8, 16 plus 4, 20. That means 2 questions may be numerical questions and 1 may be theory, 4 marks theory. Or you may have questions 10 plus 6 plus 4. That bifurcation is also possible. 10 marks numerical, 6 marks numerical, and again 4 marks theory. So different permutations, combinations are asked, but you have or 7 plus 7 plus 6, 7 marks numerical and 6 marks theory. So theory questions are unavoidable even in a numerical subjects. So don't be under impression that yes, I can leave theory for option. Old syllabus students may have afforded this, because in old syllabus there used to be exclusive dedicated question on theory in the old syllabus. But in the new syllabus, I repeat, in the old syllabus there may have been exclusive dedicated question on theory. But in new syllabus, every numerical is supported with a theory. So you cannot say that I'm leaving the theory question for option. In numerical subjects खाली मैं numerical करके जाऊंगा and theory मैं option पे डालूंगा. ऐसे हो ही नहीं सकता. If you do that, then in every question you will lose part C of 6 marks or 4 marks, as the case may be, because A, B is numerical but C is a theory. A, B is numerical and C is theory, and permutation combination could be anything. So you cannot say that always in question 2C this is the topic covered, in 4C this is covered, 5B this is covered. You can't do such trend analysis. Some students have the bad habit of doing trend analysis. Maybe some coaching classes teach us like this. Okay, these are the topics on which questions have been asked at intermediate level. It happens many times. In paper number 5 you have banking and insurance company accounts. So yes, if in one question last time 16 marks was asked on banking, this time question will come on insurance or electricity undertaking, and so on. That's not the case. There may be part A of the question on banking, part B on insurance, or part A on insurance and part B on electricity. So there could be any permutation combination. The fact remains that you cannot leave anything for option. 100% coverage of syllabus is a must in CA exam, whether it is intermediate or whether it is final. Don't even ask this question to anyone. Sir, can I leave it for option? Ma'am, can I leave this for option? मैं छोड़ दूं चलेगा क्या? ये question आपके मन में आना ही नहीं चाहिए. 100% coverage of the topic, whether you like it or not. And earlier 2 speakers also have emphasized on the same 100% coverage, because I don't know what is the permutation combination in which the topics are going to be covered in the main exam. There is no undertaking or guarantee given by the institute that yes, these are the questions which will be asked on so and so number. 4C में यही topic पूछा जाएगा, 3B में यही topic पूछा जाएगा. ऐसे कहाँ भी किसी ने declaration आपको दिया नहीं है, and nobody will give that. You have to study thoroughly. All the more, therefore, 100% coverage of the syllabus is necessary. In practical, another thing I would like to talk about is papers. One is accounting, paper number 1, and advanced accounting, paper 5 in intermediate, and FR in final. All 3 are relating to accounting. The level of accounting goes on increasing. The complexity goes on increasing. In paper 1, we have basic fundamental topics in accounting. There the emphasis of course is on journal entries. I am talking about intermediate level. Passing the journal preparing the financial conceptual questions in paper 1, paper 5. So of course most of the topics from company accounts are covered in paper number 5, and in CA final you have financial reporting. In financial reporting you have business combination, consolidation. This is another topic, business combination and consolidation, which has been there right from my time. right? That time we used to study accounting standards. Now you study Ind AS. That's the only difference. But consolidation, consolidating the balance sheets or financial statements of holding and subsidiary company together and preparing consolidated balance sheet. Always there used to be 16 to 20 marks question, sometimes compulsory, sometimes yes, one or even two questions used to be asked, and the same trend continues. Similarly, questions on amalgamation, mergers, acquisition, internal reconstruction, right, at intermediate as well as at final. And these questions are quite tricky. You know, in a subject like accounting, if your initial workings or initial calculations go wrong, then all subsequent calculations will go wrong. It is all interrelated. So if initial part is wrong, then subsequent calculations are also wrong, and to that extent a student may lose the entire mark. And therefore all the more you have to be very thorough, solve maximum number of questions, and study almost all the questions from the module as well as from all these sources which I mentioned. Balance sheet or financial statements have to be prepared in schedule 3 format, vertical form of course of the balance sheet, under the new Companies Act, the revised format, and that is a must. So don't even ask this question, should I prepare the balance sheet in horizontal form, in T form? Gone are those days. Long time back we have done away with the T form of the balance sheet. It is all the time vertical form, and that too schedule 3 format of the balance sheet. Schedules to accounts, notes to accounts, बहुत गुस्सा आता है, बिकॉज एक खुद के ऊपर गुस्सा आता है, मुझे भी गुस्सा आता है जब मैं प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करता हूँ. एक प्रॉब्लम कंसोलिडेशन का सॉल्व करने के लिए more than 45 minutes are required. Howsoever thorough I may be, there are number of adjustments, so 6, 7, 8, 10 adjustments, and a problem runs into, the case study runs into 2.5 pages. Such a lengthy problem. First, I must have balanced mind, patience to read through that particular problem and underline the key words in the problem, underline the key adjustments, and frame my mindset that yes, I have to give effect to these adjustments while preparing the consolidated balance sheet or while preparing the final accounts, company final accounts in case of intermediate paper number 5. I should be clear in my mind. Having done so, now I start solving, right? You should have methodical approach of solving these numerical problems when you prepare working notes. And therefore in every question, every paper rather, on the top there is instruction given to the students that question number 1 is compulsory, from 2 to 6 attempt any 4, and so on. But there is one more information, instruction given to the students, and that is working notes form integral part of your answer. Working notes must form integral part of your answer. Wherever assumptions are required, you have to give those assumptions very clearly. In papers at final level, there are sometimes calculations where assumptions have to be given. All of you, those who are appearing for CA final, you know, one of the important topic in SFM is valuation, business valuation. How to calculate enterprise value, EV, or business value, BV, using different approaches, right? And there is a lot of, and you all have undergone the studies on valuation of business, valuation of equity, valuation of bonds, and so on. Now it may so happen that sometimes there is an interpretation issue. The language of the question may be vague, and therefore I'm inclined to assume something, right, which is not very clearly given in the question paper. If something is not given clearly in the question paper, obviously I have no choice but to write the assumption. So please do write the assumptions, and all assumptions which are based on logical reasoning, all assumptions which are based on logical reasoning, assumptions which are made, which are logical, related, right, certainly get due credit. Always there is an alternative answer given. If you refer to the past suggested answers, you will find there is an alternative answer given for some of the questions. Numerical subjects I'm talking about, alternative answers are given. And that means this treatment is also possible, the other treatment is also possible. Invariably, this is in decision-making questions like should I borrow the amount and buy the asset, or should I take on lease? I remember in papers like financial management at intermediate or SFM in final, strategic financial management in final, you have these topics which are covered for 16 marks. Should I borrow and buy, or should I take the asset on lease? Pros and cons, cost benefit analysis of borrow and buy versus lease. right? Where you are doing the cash flow analysis, cost benefit analysis, incremental cost versus incremental benefit. Now, sometimes it may so happen that it may not be any clarity about when should you take the tax benefit, the advantage of tax shield. Is it the tax shield should be taken, the advantage of tax benefit on depreciation should be taken in the same year, or should we take it in the next year? Because that will affect my cash inflow of the next year. So there, all of you are aware that depreciation is a tax deductible expenditure, and there is a tax shield or tax saving on account of depreciation. So sometimes in some problems you'll find a treatment where benefit of depreciation, tax shield on depreciation is taken in the same year in which depreciation is charged, or some alternative treatment is the benefit of tax advantage is taken in the next year. So to that extent, the cash inflow occurs in the next year. And this is on the assumption that the assessment always for the earlier financial year will take place in the next year. So tax benefit, etc., whatever the SSC accrues, that is in the next financial year. So it will result in cash inflow in the next financial year. Why should you take cognizance in the earlier financial year? That is the assumption, or that's the take. Now, whatever is the assumption you are making, be clear in your mind why are you making that assumption, and please put it on record in black and white. That means you should be very critical in writing that assumption, that why are you making that assumption, and alternatively, if the assumption is made like this, the answer will differ accordingly. So keep such open-ended remark also. You make one assumption, say in topics like valuation, topics like borrow and buy versus lease, etc. Some select topics where information, if it is not given categorically, then you have to make the assumptions. And those assumptions you have to write very categorically. In the last line towards the end, you can also write that alternatively, if we make this kind of assumption, the above calculations, the above answer will undergo change. Now, what will be that change that you did not show? You did not show that change, but at least make a passing remark, an open-ended comment, a passing remark, an open-ended comment that yes, I am also aware of second assumption which can be made in this scenario, and to that extent the answer will be different. That is what you are making it clear to the examiner, that you have understood both assumptions are possible in this particular question. I am not saying that every time this situation will arise. Most of the time the abundant care is taken while setting the question paper itself, that yes, there is no ambiguity in the question paper, there is no open-endedness in the question paper, no ambiguity, no open-endedness, right, to the point, and one and only one answer is expected from the student. As much as possible this care might be taken, but still there are sometimes some exceptional cases where there is ambiguity, there is some lapse which might have remained in the question paper. So to that extent, in numerical subject it matters a lot. In theory there may be a direct question, it may not affect much, but in numerical subject it may affect a lot, because it will have direct implication on your final answer. So make your position very clear, right? जैसे हम disclaimer डाल देते हैं, we call it disclaimer. You are making your position very clear and safeguarding yourself. And of course, institute will have to take, the examiner will have to take cognizance of such disclaimer or such assumptions when you write it in your answer paper. I spent most time elaborately on this because these things do matter in numerical subjects. Nowadays, the questions are asked on case study, and even the multiple choice questions. You should not be rather surprised that yes, there can be questions on MCQs which are based on integrated case study. There are two types of MCQs I'm talking about, where there are total 20 or 25 questions carrying 1 mark, 2 marks weightage. All of you are aware that MCQs may carry weightage of 1 mark or 2 marks. And 1 or 2 marks. So there may be 20 or 25 questions and not 30 questions for 30 marks. But all 20-25 questions may be standalone questions, maybe disjoint questions. This is one pattern of MCQ. They may be standalone disjoint questions. एक MCQ का एक question का दूसरे question से कुछ संबंध नहीं है. This is one pattern, right, which you have seen in our module, in our RTP, etc. But also there is second pattern, and that is, so be prepared even for such pattern, that there is an integrated case study. An integrated case study, a complete case study is only one and only one, or there are 20 questions emerging from that case study. 20 questions emerging from that case study. That kind of structure is also possible. So don't go with a prior preconceived notion that yes, I will always have 20 disjoint questions for 30 marks. Not necessary. One case study is given, that entire case study may be only on right shares, maybe on buyback of shares, right? And your knowledge is being tested on buyback of shares or on right shares or insider trading, right? SEBI guidelines on insider trading and so on. And questions are asked on that, right? So if you had that particular topic for option, what happens is all 30 marks gone, because only one case study asked and there are 20-25 questions. So any kind of possibility when we go to our professional exams, CA exams particularly, you should be very clear in mind that I am prepared for any kind of uncertainty. Uncertainty is yes there in my mind, and I'm prepared for that uncertainty, so that there is no shock. You become a shock absorber. I always tell students, you become a shock absorber. After writing CA exams, you become shock absorber. Yes, I come to know that yes, any shock I'm ready to now, any challenge I can take, and I can get through that challenge because I have that confidence. Some topics which I would like to cover about stepwise marking. I have done that. In direct tax and indirect tax, there are MCQs that are asked for 30 marks. So that's why I covered about MCQ, because in subjects like cost accounting, management accounting, financial management, advanced accounting, accounting, SFM, strategic cost management, there are no MCQs. Numerical subjects, there are no MCQs. 100 marks paper is a practical paper plus some theory questions. So no MCQs in practical subject. But the exception to this is paper on direct tax and indirect tax. These are, dekha jaye to practical papers, but still there is MCQ, right? So you should be prepared. So Tejas sir mentioned that MCQ is a game changer. I like the word what he used. Of course, is par ya us par, because if you are thorough in your preparation and studies, then MCQs can give you as high as 25 plus out of 30, and that 25 will be a game changer because it will help you in getting 70 plus and thereby help you in getting aggregate 50. Yeah, so that is how it is turning your future MCQ. But of course, if your choice goes wrong, if your choice of the answer goes wrong, if your MCQs are incorrect, then obviously you can get even less than 15 also out of 30. And to that extent, the overall performance goes down. And in that sense, what Tejas said is correct, and that's a game changer. Time management, CA Srinivas Joshi sir covered. I would like to once again emphasize that 15 minutes given to you is the reading time. Make use of that opportunity. Right? We never had these 15 minutes. When I passed out, you will not believe, two things were missing. We always envy students because two things were missing. Number one, there was no 15 minutes time given to us for reading the question paper, only 3 hours, and that to writing time. That's all, no reading time. And second thing is about the 100% paper was compulsory. There used to be no choice of questions. I'm talking about those years, of course, but now you have choice of questions. You have one internal option and one external option. In every paper, this structure is 100% followed by our institute. 100%. Show me a single paper where there is no internal choice and or external choice. It's not and or, it's and external choice. So out of 5 questions, you have to attempt any 4. External choice ho gaya. And in one of the questions, there is internal choice also, this or this. So this is sort of a privilege for all of you. Take advantage of such facilities provided to you. And that is why firming up the question is very important during these 15 minutes. 15 minutes time is given not to solve any of the question, not to do the rough working. No, that is not the time for that. 15 minutes time is given mainly to write down the questions which you are going to attempt. So if you are going to attempt question number 1 is compulsory, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Question 6 you don't want to attempt. Fine. Jot down those numbers that yes, you would like to attempt these questions because you are read, and rapid reading is required. 15 minute mein paper padh ke bhi to hona chahiye, right? Sometimes the case studies are so lengthy. One case study itself you continue reading, 15 minutes gone. So rapid reading, you should develop the habit of reading rapidly all those 5 questions, because during these 15 minutes you are firming up the choice of question and nothing else. राइट। आपकी सिचुएशन हमेशा एग्जाम हॉल में ऐसी होनी चाहिए, अरे मुझे तो ये 5 क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं, पहला क्वेश्चन तो चलो कंपलसरी है, वो मुझे अभी पढ़ना ही नहीं है, वो तो कंपलसरी है, बट क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 to 6 आई हैव टू अटेम्प्ट एनी 4, राइट। सो आई एम नाउ इन अ डायलेमा, क्योंकि मुझे 5 क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं, इतनी मेरी थरो प्रिपरेशन है, आई एम सो थरो इन माई प्रिपरेशन, so much in-depth study I have done that I have a dilemma which question to attempt. Should I go for 2, 3, 4, 5 or 3, 4, 5, 6 or any other permutation combination? That should be the dilemma in my mind. And that time, that means your study should be 100% thorough, right? That should be the level of preparation which is expected from CA students, and still 1 month's time you have with you. So ensure that when you go to the exam hall, you are thorough each and every question, in spite of having uncertainty of the type of questions, uncertainty about the sequence of the questions, the order in which they are asked, the number on which they are asked, all this uncertainty will prevail, whether वो 3A में है या 4B में है, let it be, but I am thorough in my preparation. That should be your mindset, then you will have a great choice. Otherwise क्या होगा, if you are left certain topics for option, you will be left with no choice, compulsorily will have to attempt some questions, and if there are some twists and turns, some difficulty level in those questions in the topics which you have covered, then you are lost, right? Then what happens is, I never thought that level of difficulty will be so high in that topic. I prepared that topic thoroughly, but level of difficulty is so high in that topic, I was never prepared mentally, right? So that choice also gone. Other 2 topics I had left for option, so that choice also gone. So finally I am left with only 2, 3 questions, and that means I realized that yes, this attempt I am not been able to clear, because aggregate 50 होंगे कैसे, न्यूमेरिकल सब्जेक्ट में 70 के ऊपर आते हैं, then only it will enable me to get aggregate 50. So from that point of view, concentrate on each and every topic in the syllabus, and thorough study is required. I'll quickly go through the notes which I had kept, just to see whether I have covered almost all the points. Otherwise, your questions are welcome. I talked about papers like advanced accounting, FR, where Ind AS application is important, and therefore do not write the answers in light of old accounting standards. That's most important. Paper number 1, 5, and paper number 1 in final, and 1 and 5 in intermediate. Balance sheet to be prepared in Schedule 3 format with notes to accounts, schedules to accounts in as much detail as possible. कोई question में ऐसे categorically दिया होगा that notes to accounts not required, into bracket notes to accounts not required, schedules to accounts not required, ऐसे दिया होगा तो ही मत बनाना. But if there is no information like this, you have no business to skip notes to accounts and schedules to account. It is a mandatory part of the financial statements. It is a package. Let us take it. Balance sheet is a package along with the notes to accounts and schedules to accounts. मैंने आपको पहले ही बोला, मुझे खुद को गुस्सा आता है खुद के ऊपर, एक प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने में 45 मिनट जाते हैं. But please bear in mind, my friends, that if the grouping of expenses is not proper, grouping of expenses in the schedules, then you lose marks, 1 or 2 marks, because each grouping will carry some stepwise marks, 1 mark, 2 mark, etc. And they cannot be inserted in the main financial statements. That also you bear in mind. You have notes to accounts, you have schedules to accounts, so you cannot include those workings, in the main balance sheet. So into bracket करके this plus this, like that you cannot show. Whatever you want to show, you show in the notes, separate working notes, and so on. Right? So that structure, जो ढांचा बोलते हैं balance sheet में, that ढांचा structure has to be maintained all throughout to get full 16 or full 20 marks in a question on financial statement. For intermediate students, same thing applies for cash flow statement. When you have questions on preparation of cash flow statement, even if your cash flow statement does not tally, don't worry at all. You have 3 control figures: operating activities, investing, and financing activities. So 3 control figures will carry marks, right? Working notes, where you open ledger accounts to find out the missing figures, the balancing figures, will carry 1 or 1.5 mark. Now the breakup of marks is not given to you in the question paper. Breakup of marks is not given. So my last point to all of you, आपके मन में कोई भी छोटा सा विचार आता है, any small thought which comes to your mind, right? Should I write or should I skip writing this? I will say better to write than not to write. I'm talking about numerical subjects categorically. Basic thing like interest calculation, right? Ind AS on borrowing cost, Ind AS on borrowing cost, interest to be calculated on different types of assets, qualifying assets. Now, certain calculations are so obvious, so obvious. 10% of 1 lakh. आई एम अ फाइनल स्टूडेंट सर, ये क्या बताना है? 10% ऑफ 1 लाख, फाइनल पे आके इतना तो मेंटल कैलकुलेशन में कर सकता हूँ. 10% ऑफ 1 लाख इज 10,000. सो इसमें क्या बताना है? नो, आई विल मेंशन इवन दैट. 10 interest to be capitalized is equal to 10% of rupees 1 lakh, that is 10,000. छोटी सी छोटी चीज, howsoever obvious, howsoever natural that may be, you mention it as a part of your document, that is part of your working note, right? Let the examiner, let the person who is taking the paper pick up whatever he or she wants out of that, but from your side you give each and everything. Don't hide anything. Let there be 100% transparency in, let there be 100% transparency in your answer, in your working notes. जो आपके मन में चल रहा है, दिमाग में चल रहा है, let it be documented and form part of working notes. Let that working note may or may not carry mark, that you don't know, because question paper doesn't give you breakup of the marks, stepwise marks. So it is your job to write down all the working notes and to give all basic calculation, howsoever obvious they are. Purposely I'm mentioning howsoever obvious they are. Sometimes we feel itna simple calculation mein क्यों दे दो, नहीं दे दो, better, because that may carry half mark, you never know. So at least jate jate let me get that half mark, 1 mark. In CA exams, you have to build up the marks brick by brick. Construction is always brick by brick construction. So एक एक mark मुझे जोड़ने हैं. My final objective is I don't want to repeat the exam hall again and again. My dear students, it is a mental torture. Appearing for the same paper again and again is a mental torture. Repeating the exam hall for the same paper, same subject again and again is a mental torture. I am ready to sacrifice anything in my life but for CA degree. That's it. That should be the ambition. I think Joshi sir and Tejas sir also have spoken about these motivational thoughts. Yes, that yes, the first and fourth, and both of them emphasized about sacrificing the personal life, social life, sacrificing all entertainments, engagements other than CA studies, right? 12 to 15 hours a day, CA study is must, particularly 1 hour, 1 year, 1 month prior to the exam. That means now exactly 1 month is left over for November attempt. At least 12 to 15 hours a day, you must study, whether it is partly theory, partly numerical subjects, revising, taking 2 subjects at a time, getting up early morning, sleeping late night, that's all up to you. I will never advise or recommend any particular format. Each one knows their body language very well, and therefore you can decide the complete schedule for the day. But 12 to 15 hours a day study is a must, mandatory for CA final, CA intermediate, both, right? To get that success in the first attempt, that is most important, because एक चीज आप पक्का समझो, आई डोंट वांट टू रिपीट द एग्जाम हॉल अगेन, राइट? इससे और बुरी चीज कुछ नहीं हो सकती, बिकॉज नेक्स्ट अटेम्प्ट अगेन देयर इज 100% अनसर्टेनिटी दैट विल प्रिवेल. विल आई क्लियर दिस टाइम? इफ आई क्लियर द अदर पेपर्स, मे बी सम अदर पेपर आई मे flunk. That should not be the thought. Let me have all positivities all throughout mind while doing the studies. And whenever there are theory questions in the numerical subjects, I told you theory questions are also there. 4 marks, 6 marks theory questions are also there in every numerical paper nowadays in the new syllabus, and the answers to the theory questions have to be written to the point. Very, very specific answers, to the point answers have to be written. Bullet points, I don't mind even if you write the answers in bullet points rather than constructing sentences. Rather than making grammatical errors in writing, better to write in bullet point form. Yeah, right? And that's a numerical subject, and therefore theory is important, but not as important as numerical in that paper, and therefore you can write bullet points very well. If 5 bullet points are written, you may get 4 marks out of 5, right? If they are all relevant points, to the point answer if you are written. So please see to it that even the theory questions also you write to the point and specific answers, where generally when you see the comments of the head examiner on the institute's website, these comments are also hosted, and you will find what are the general mistakes committed. Joshi sir mentioned about general mistakes committed by the students in their examination. So those mistakes you try to take care of and avoid those mistakes. Yes, I have covered from my side almost everything what I had in mind. If you have any questions, you are free to ask. But in direct tax and indirect tax, the format of that case study has to be maintained, and that is the facts which Tejas sir mentioned about the facts of the case, then the analysis of the case, and the conclusion. And that final conclusion is important. You have to take one stand. Are you talking about agreeing to the contention of the AO? AO is assessing officer. So do you agree with the contention of the assessing officer, or you don't agree? Right? And of course, it is not a question of your agreement or disagreement. It has a support of a case law. So there is a Supreme Court judgment or a case law on that particular case. So you have to give the citation, give that particular reference of that case law or the Supreme Court judgment, recent judgment which has come up on that case, and then you have to apply that case law in the given case and take a firm stand. Right? Please remember, if your final conclusion is wrong, final judgment is wrong, the arguments which you build around that final judgment, they are not even read by the examiners. That means they are given entire answer is given 0 marks. I'm particularly talking about direct tax, indirect tax paper. I repeat, when you take a particular stand, that stand has to be correct. Do you agree? आप बोलना क्या चाहते हो? Do you agree or do you disagree? Let us take a firm stand and then go on building around the arguments around that final judgment. If final judgment only is wrong, arguments are not relevant at all. Whatever stories you may cook around that wrong judgment will not get any credit points. Remember this I have been told right from my time when I was a student, and my teacher told that final judgment has to be correct. Same thing applies for Tejas sir, of course, is expert in professional ethics subject in auditing. Each chartered accountant guilty or not guilty of professional misconduct, under which clause, under which part, which schedule. You firm up your stand, and thereafter you can start building the arguments or start building the additional points around that final judgment. All right. So thank you very much, Thane WICASA, for giving me this opportunity. I hope I have covered most of the points, but still, if there are any doubts, I'm free to answer the questions. Over to you, Shrutika.
Sir, on YouTube, as the session is live, so
Yeah.
two of the students have asked questions
Sure.
with respect to accounting standard.
Okay.
So they are like, how one participant asked that how is the marks allotted in AS questions, like answers for marks कैसे दिए जाते हैं? So I think you will be
No,
able to.
that we will not be aware of how marks are given. That we will not be able to comment. But
Yes.
generally, generally we will go by the means. Student generally keep on asking the copies of the answer paper, and they find they have written vague answers. If you have written vague answers, then no credit is given. You have to be specific. Tejas sir ne bhi aapko bola, you have to quote that particular case law or account, in this case Ind AS or accounting standard. What are the provisions of law that you have to state, and then apply those provisions to the given case. So first the case, what is given, the facts of the case, the accounting standard or Ind AS provisions, and then the application of those provisions to the given case. And then the final conclusion, final judgment. This is the structure or the order in which you have to follow. Then you should get good marks if the answer is sensible and correct. Yes,
Okay.
should. Yeah.
And another question says that studying Ind AS I don't find problem, but I'm not getting confidence about question. Will be theory or practical, or will I able to solve it? How to gain confidence on it?
Confidence, application oriented. There are textbooks also available on application of Ind AS in real life situations, in small case scenarios, or caselets are given right in the module. And now we have enough of practice material which is uploaded by our BOS. So you have on our knowledge portal also the RTPs. Then you have the mock test papers with solution. So you have similar type of questions which are based on Ind AS or accounting standards. So you can get, and plus the private publications. I don't want to name anyone because it will amount to recommending something at the cost of something. I say many, but students do refer to private publications also for additional practice on Ind AS and application of Ind AS. See, there is no direct question on what are the provisions of Ind AS so and so. There may not be direct question, but application oriented question. Yeah, application means in the given case study or a case scenario, or in the given situation, how will you apply that index? That is more important.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, yes,
Thank you.
welcome. Any
Okay,
other
so
question?
yeah, if anyone has any questions, please you can shoot right now.
Uh, I hope I have adhered to the time, Shrutika.
Yeah, yeah, sir. No problem. If anyone has
Yes.
questions, please let us know so that sir can clear it out right away. I guess uh, I guess your explanations were enough for to
Okay.
understand everything. So, sir, thank you so much once
Thank you.
again. Thanks
Thank
a lot for taking so much time and helping us with how to deal with practical examinations, how to study in theirs, etc., etc. So, thank you so much, and we would like to see you again in some other sessions.
Sure.
And
I must wish all of you all the best for your exams
yes,
and November exam, and even subsequent career thereafter, future career as well. Yes, I would like to see all of you coming on this side of the table, becoming CA, immediately, as early as for those who are finalists, of course, will clear immediately. Yeah.
yes,
So
sir. Thank you.
put in all your hard, wholehearted efforts. Last 1 month left over. All
Yeah,
the best.
yeah. Thank you so much. So yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
So we are moving ahead with our session. I can see the next speaker has already arrived, and let me give a short introduction about our next speaker. Introducing our next mentor, CA Anagha Jathar. She has been associated with Thane WICASA previously for counseling sessions. Along with being a chartered accountant, she is a certified neuro-linguistic practitioner and has been a trainer for Teach India. So without wasting any further time, I invite you, CA Anagha Jathar, to carry forward the session. Over to you, Anagha.
Okay, hello everyone, and thank you so much for the lovely introduction, Shrutika. Today we are going to talk about stress management, and since stress is a very heavy topic in general, and all of us are going through unprecedented times, we are in the times of COVID, which has never been faced before by any generation. Let us try to make it as light and light-handed as possible. I have a short PPT for you all. Please bear with me for a second. I'll start my screen sharing. Okay, can Thane Vikasa start the screen sharing? Please allow it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. All right. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are. Yes.
Okay. And is the PPT visible?
Yes, yes. Everything is
All right, let's go then. So let's start with what is stress. It is impossible to live without having any kind of stress unless you live in a way where you don't care about what you do. Once you care about the outcome of anything, stress is inevitable. You're going to feel stressed, you're going to feel anxious about how will I fare, how will I be. Today, before coming this session, I could have easily said that, oh, I have given 100 sessions like this, I am super confident, I'll just come and show up with my PPT and speak. But this was not the case, because I care about what I speak today. I care about what the students listen to just a month before their exam. If you care about something, you will feel the nerves, you will feel stressed. So normalize some amount of stress, because it's normal to feel anxious once in a while. However, how should you assess if my stress levels are healthy or unhealthy? So I have given here a quick pointer. This is not an exhaustive list again, but you can see if this works for you. So first one is, have I lost appetite? When you eat, do you feel like I don't care what I eat about? let's just get on with this. It's lunchtime, so I'm having lunch. It's dinner time, I'm having dinner. Or do you actually feel like, okay, now I've studied a lot, I'm feeling hungry, let me have something and let me understand what I'm having. Am I present to what I'm eating, or am I just eating so that I can get back to studies again? So that's the first one. Am I losing sleep? Do I sleep soundly, or do I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about, oh, what if this question gets asked in the exam? How will I do? How will I solve this question? I haven't prepared for this. If what I've put in option, what if that comes for 16 marks? What am I going to do then? If this happens often, and if this happens very intensely, then you have a problem. Is my productivity low? What happens with good stress? What happens with the stress where you genuinely care about something and hence you're stressed? It increases your productivity. It makes you more efficient. You will put more heart in what you're doing because you care about it. But the unhealthy kind of stress, the kind of stress where you're really working up yourself, where you don't know how to deal with things and you're constantly overwhelmed, you will observe that your productivity is falling, that you're sitting for studies for 4 hours, 5 hours at a stretch, but you're not able to focus. The output is zero, which means that you need to take immediate steps for curbing your stress. There is something wrong. And the last one is, do I find myself tired all the time? Even when you're stressed, usually we do feel the usual signs, of nervousness. We have sweaty palms, our heart beats fast, or sometimes we constantly feel fidgety, we are pacing in the room, we feel restless, and all those things are fine. But when you're constantly stressed and you're intensely stressed, you will feel exhausted because your mind is running marathons. Okay, here you can see a truth potato. These are small fun facts that I wanted to get for all of you. These are potatoes, but be very mindful because they are very, very honest. What does this potato say? It says, someday you'll miss today. So all the days that I stress about what will happen tomorrow, what has happened in the past, how many marks did I get in IPCC, will I still get those many marks in audit, is my audit really weak, is it strong, how should I prepare? All the time that you waste on all that worry and stress, you'll miss it someday. Let's move on to facts and beliefs. Okay, here the truth potato says we confuse between opinions and facts. The potato is saying you suck to someone. Okay, now you suck is not a fact. A fact is something which can be validated by a research agency, an authority, the government, by anything which is scientifically proven or we have evidence for. Anything apart from that is a belief. And beliefs can be challenged. They are not facts, which are the absolute truths. What happens sometimes is we are all the time talking to ourselves. Even right now, when I'm talking, I'm sure some of you are thinking, oh, what's the time? How much more time will she talk now? Is this PPT going to be interactive? Is she going to ask us questions? Some of you are thinking, what about my snacks time? When will the snacks come? What should I study after this PPT? How should I change my strategy? So all of us are talking to ourselves while we are doing other things. What happens is, in this inner dialogue, in this conversation that we have with ourselves, sometimes we tell ourselves things which are not supported by facts and which are purely beliefs which can harm us and cause us more stress. Here I have a small example for you. Let's take this. I'm not sure how many of you have said this to yourself, but I'm sure I have said this to myself sometime or the other in my CA journey. I have not studied properly. People who revise the entire portion thrice are those who pass CA final. I have not even revised twice. Due to this pandemic, my concentration has reduced. Time remaining is too less to change around my exam preparation. What happens here is, these are things that, which we consider fact sometimes because someone we admire and look up to has said them. Maybe it's a professor whose voice is in our head that, itne baar to revise karna hi padega, warna pass hone ka koi chance nahi hai. Or someone we really look up to, someone else, a parent, maybe someone has told this to you and you have taken it as a fact, but it may or may not be a fact. Let's see how much of this is a fact in the next slide. Okay, everything in red is belief, everything not in red is a fact. So I have not studied properly. I'm assuming all of us know our level of preparation. Hence, we know if we haven't studied properly. So I'm giving that to you that, okay, it's a fact. People who revise the entire portion thrice are those who pass CA final. Why is this a belief? Because sure, if you are revising the portion thrice, you stand a better chance at passing. But this is not a fact. Just because I haven't revised those many times, or because I don't know that people who have done it thrice have done it properly, or they have just done it upar se, I don't really know if they'll pass or not. So this is purely a belief. I believe this, but I find this belief, I have internalized it like a fact, like this is the truth. I have not even revised twice. Okay, this is a fact. I know that I haven't. Due to this pandemic, my concentration has reduced. I'm giving this to you as a fact because due to this pandemic, it is true that we have had so many extraordinary circumstances that our concentration must have reduced, and it's okay. Time remaining is too less to change around my exam preparation. This, why do I call this a belief or an assumption? Time is not something that we can quantify strictly. For me, 5 minutes might be too short. For someone else, they might be too much. They might feel that, oh, if you want to revise accounting standards, 3 hours are more than enough. Some people might feel that 3 months are also very less. So time is something which is relative, it is subjective. You don't know how many people quantify time and how do they measure time. So do not feel that, oh, this much time is too much or this much time is too less. You don't know. So just start wherever you feel the realization that I have to do something new or I should do something differently. Start from there. Let's go ahead. I have an example here. Okay, first we have a truth potato. Let's see what it's saying. It's saying we overthink everything. Here we have a potato who's thinking about how will I become fries. So it wants to be French fries and it's thinking about the future. Now, is it a potato right now or is it a French fry? It's a French fry. It's a potato. But because it's thinking about the future so much and it's overthinking, it's not able to enjoy what it is right now. All of us fall into this trap many times where we feel like if we overthink something so much that if right now I'm here and I'm thinking, okay, I have exams in November, so many people are going to give exams this time. What if I don't pass both the groups? How much percentage result will they have this time? I should at least pass the second one because that has tax. And then I'll do this after the result comes, and after I've passed, I'll start studying. What happens is we try to control the outcome by thinking through it. We think that, okay, if now I start thinking till the result, I have controlled it. But you cannot control everything merely by thinking about it. You have to take steps, you have to take actions. And the best thing that we can do about the future is working right now. Hence, avoid overthinking as much as possible. I know it's easier said than done, but we can all do it if we try. Is just to test if anyone is awake. Can anyone take this example for me? Too many people are appearing for exams in this attempt. I have no chance of passing in this competition. I am unlucky. Attempt, someone please try to see how much of this is a belief and how much of this is a fact. Okay, nobody? Am I audible or is there a problem?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, and nobody is attempting this.
So I feel, let me give my opinion then.
Okay.
Too many people are appearing. Okay, someone in the chat section said 90% belief and 10% fact. Too
Okay,
many people
super.
are appearing with a fact. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So even I think too many people appearing for exams this attempt is a fact because it's true.
True.
Too many people are going to appear this attempt because 4 attempts have been merged this time.
Super.
Then I have no chance of passing. This is a belief I feel because I feel I haven't prepared as much as I should have, and that's why I think that मेरा pass होने का chance शायद कम है, and that's
Okay.
why I make an assumption that I am unlucky.
Okay.
irrespective of whatever work or hard work I've put in, or how much ever time I have put in studying. In spite of
Hmm.
that, if I am unprepared, then I'll always think that I am unlucky. Even after the results, people most of the time say that I am unlucky because इसके लिए मैं pass नहीं हुआ, luck नहीं चला यार. So I feel that is
Superb.
a belief, and first sentence is a this.
Is a fact.
Yes, yes.
Superb. Thank you so much. And thank you, Shrutika. Thank you, the girl who said that it's 90% belief, because they are right. It's only the first sentence is a fact. Everything else is something that I believe. Okay, I feel that, okay, I have no chance of passing. But is there any book which says that in this attempt I will not pass? That Anagha will not pass in this attempt because she will not be able to withstand the competition? Or is there any rule book which says that I am unlucky? There is nothing about these two statements which is a fact or a truth. But if you believe something very strongly, you feel that it is a fact. And what we can do to reduce stress is challenge our beliefs. All the beliefs that are not serving us right, please ask questions to this, that is this true really? Is this a fact, or do I think it's a fact because someone close to me says it? Some other friend of mine who I really admire, who is a CA right now, says that, oh, इतना कंपटीशन है ना, पास होने का चांस बहुत कम है. Or do I actually, is this my belief? Is this something that I have evidence for? Or is this something that I have borrowed? Is it a borrowed belief? Let's go to the next slide. Okay, now this is a very fun slide. It says accept what you cannot change and focus on what you can. This is a Venn diagram, things that matter and things that you can control. And there's a small part where these intersect, and this is where you should focus on. I'll tell you why. There are many things that matter. Okay, environment conservation matters to me, women rights matter to me, human rights matter to me, um, how I look matter to me, how I speak matter to me, how my family is doing matter to me. However, how many of these things are in my control? Very little. Very little of what I just mentioned is absolutely in my control. I cannot control how much it rains. I cannot control the government policies. I cannot control thousand other things that can affect what matter to me. On the other end, there are some things that I can control. I can control my walk, my talk, how what I tell myself. I can control what I read, who I talk to, what my friend circle is like. I can control my reactions to situations. Now there is a small part which is the intersection of the things that matter and which I can control. So I can control the speed at which I walk. But does my walking speed really matter to me so much? No, it doesn't. So there is a small part which I should focus on, which is the intersection of the things that matter and the things that you can control. I'll give you examples. Um, what I read, how much do I study, how focused is my preparation. All these things are something which I can control. How healthy do I eat? Or am I stress eating? Am I just eating garbage from my fridge because it makes me feel good for that moment? Or am I really eating something which nourishes my mind and my body? All these things, am I exercising? Am I waking up on time? Am I sleeping on time? All these things are things that you can control, hence you should focus on. Now, what doesn't fall in this intersection? What are the things that are not in my control? Will the ICI conduct exam properly? When I'm sitting on those benches, is there any probability that it will be infected by the virus? What if I catch something? What if the papers are too strict because we have gotten so much time to prepare? What if the papers are too easy and the passing percentage will remain the same? So my chances of clearing, what about them? All these things are not in our control. When we accept that I cannot control this and we know what I can control and focus on that much, life will truly become really, really easy and very calm. And I always feel for all the cricket fans here, Dhoni, I think, has this strategy, which is why he's called Captain Cool. Because he knows that I can't control many things. Whatever I can control, I'm going to focus on. And he's very calm and cool. I don't think anyone has seen him stressed out per se, or very, very charged up, or charged up in a bad way, because he knows that not everything is in my control. Whatever is in my control, I'll do. And we have all seen what kind of results that approach gives. So make sure that you know what to focus on. Let's move on. This is a small chart which can tell us what we can or cannot control. What I cannot control, if I know that I can't, I will let go of controlling these things. So the circumstances that I'm dealt with, I can't control that. How long this will last? We have very good example of COVID. None of us know. So what's the point in discussing whether the vaccine will come, whether things will be open, will I be able to vacation after my exams in November? We don't know. None of us knows. Someone who claims that they know exactly when COVID is going to go are lying, and they might be extremely inaccurate because none of us have an idea how others react. Again, this is not in my control. I know how I will write the answers, but I can't control how the examiners will check them. And you really don't know a few things. You can never guess. So don't try to. Okay. Other people's motives, predicting what will happen, the actions of others, official policy, all these things are something that we cannot control. What we can control, let's come to the inner circle. There, I can see many things here that we can. So let's focus on these. How I treat and support my fellow caregivers. Caregivers are my parents, friends who have stood alongside me and have given me strength, using my knowledge and skill to provide the best care I can. So being caring towards them and towards their needs, eating, resting, and other self-care as best as I am able to in the midst of this crisis or this COVID. How I follow the recommendations provided by the government, my positive attitude, my kindness and grace. All these things are something that I can control. I have absolute control over how I study, over how well I look after my body and my mind. So let's focus on those. Moving on. Okay, here we have strategies and we have a truth potato. Let's see what it's saying. It's saying it's not always about peak performance. Take breaks. And you can see the potato sweating it out with dumbbells, and it's saying that take breaks. I'm not saying that don't work hard. Of course you need to work hard. There is no substitute for that. But I feel more than working hard in sports, work hard consistently and know when to take breaks to replenish yourself. Move your body. It's extremely important. Our body, when it moves, when it exercises, it's scientifically proven that we'll feel good if we do that, because a hormone called endorphins is released, which automatically is a feel good hormone, makes us feel nice about us. So move your body, even if it's stretching, even if it's breathing, any kind of movement, no matter how minor it is, make sure that you do it. I've written a 255 rule. Let me explain what that is. Every 2 hours, for 5 minutes, stretch for 5 minutes or look 5 feet away. Let your vision go up and go at a distance from your book, from the screen. If you're looking at a lecture on the laptop, take a break for 5 minutes. If you're looking at a book for 2 hours at a stretch, take that 5-minute break and do something which will make your body move. There is a Buddhist saying which says that your mind should be still and your body should be moving. What we do is exactly the opposite. Our bodies are still and our minds are moving all the time. Even when we are supposed to be still, our minds are constantly on the go, whereas we don't move our bodies. Let's try to switch that. Let's try to balance that out. I understand that all of you can't study standing on a treadmill. That's not going to happen. Of course, you need to sit down and study and practice, but make sure that whenever you're taking breaks, you're doing something which involves your body. Avoid comparison. This is a big one, guys. All of us fall in this trap of, इसका इतने बार पढ़ के हुआ है, मेरा तो बिल्कुल हुआ ही नहीं पढ़ के, और they will to pass, they have passed so with such good marks till now, I am not as smart as them. Or ulta, we feel that, oh, मैं तो हो जाऊंगा because I know accounts very nicely. I have done well in 12th and IPCC also. Accounts is my thing. Do not compare anything or anybody with yourself. No two things are ever comparable. I can't ask my pencil that, why don't you have ink? Because it's a pencil, it's not a pen. It doesn't have ink. All of us are very different people inherently. We are not going to have identical qualities. Hence, we are not going to give identical results. Let's stop comparing constantly ourselves with our peers, with our juniors, with our seniors, with other people we know on social media. Nobody is putting out their true selves on social media. It's not possible. We don't know anybody's entire story. So let's not compare our story with someone else's story without knowing their story fully. So stop comparing and focus on what you can do. Take breaks. I think I have elaborated enough on this. Remind yourself that failure and success both comprise of many variables. Okay, anybody who tells you that I am successful only because I am this genius, hardworking, amazing person, it's just I just walked into the hall and I wrote these papers, and when I walked out I knew that I'm going to get a rank, and I got a rank, and here I am. They are wrong. Anybody who has succeeded or somebody who fails and tells you that I did everything wrong and it's only because of me, everything else was right, but I miserably failed even after trying because I am a dumb person or there is something wrong with me, both these statements are wrong. There are many variables that contribute to success or failure. It is not so black and white. We can't attribute it to just one person or one human being and say that, oh, because of this I have completely failed or I have completely succeeded. There are many things which support you: your family, your environment. Of course, there is this thing of luck or chance where you don't know. Sometimes something that you see, sometimes something that you prepare for is exactly how it's asked in the exam, and that day is yours, and sometimes a few days aren't yours. There are many factors, and of course the biggest one is hard work. There is no denying that hard work is extremely important, but humility and knowing that I cannot control all the other variables is equally important. Discipline is greater than hustle. I think working hard is very important. Hustling, I am not very comfortable with as a word. Hustle requires you to struggle, be in a constant state of resistance with the circumstances, and inching forward in the face of obstacles in a way where I am distressed all the time. As long as you are disciplined in your hard work, as long as you are consistent, it's enough. It's good enough. Hard work with consistency will give you results. So stop thinking of this notion that no, I have to be in struggle all the time, I have to really torture myself, I shouldn't celebrate any festivals, I shouldn't go out, I shouldn't talk to anyone, I should just lock myself up in a room and keep studying because that's going to give me results. Stop torturing yourself in the name of hard work. Work hard, and also be a healthy amount of have a balance of what's going to work for me, what's not going to work for me. So those are some of the strategies. If you want any other strategies, if you think that you can modify these, if you think that one of these can work well for you, others might not, feel free to choose what suits you. Okay, we have reached the last slide, and let's see what the fruit potato is saying here. It's saying it's okay to start now. What happens is, we always feel that, okay, time is too short, I have not done anything properly till now. Let's not be pessimistic or optimistic too much. Let's be realistic. How much have I done? And if I start from now, and if I be consistent, and if I am hardworking, how much can I achieve? And start from now. Don't worry about what if something happens, what it's anyway, now I've given up, so let me not try. Do not get into that mentality. Start now, wherever you are, no matter where you are, just start, and trust me, you will see better things coming up. All right, I am done. Am I visible? Okay, I am visible. Okay, so to all of you who have benefited anything up from the presentation, and if you feel that I need to refer this again, or I need to go back to this, feel free to contact Team Vikasa. I have shared the presentation with them. They will share it with you. If you have any doubts regarding stress management, if you feel that, oh, this is too easy to listen to, but to apply, this is very hard. So please hit me up with it. Please let me know if there is something that you feel is practically challenging and has not been addressed right now. But trust me, the funniest thing about stress is once you decode it, once if any you're scared of something, the first step to get past the fear is understanding the fear. So if you're scared about the exams, look deep into it. What is it exactly that I'm scared about? If you analyze it, even if it's for a little bit time, and you know now what stresses me and what I can do about it, is there anything I can do about it? And if you take steps, you will be okay. Trust me, there is absolutely no formula in passing CA final. Anyone who tells you there's a formula is lying. If there was one, people would have passed like this. There is no sure short way. The only way is to work hard and have enough self belief. So yeah, I wish all of you all the best. Everyone do well. I hope you benefited from this session. I heard a little bit of Deepak sir as I was entering, and I feel so honored to be um, having session alongside such great senior experienced faculties, like everyone who was lined up today, whether it's Tejas sir, Deepak sir, Zoshi sir. I look up to all of them, and I thank Thane Vikasa from the bottom of my heart to have given me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, Anagha. It has
Thank
been
you.
a great session, honestly, because managing stress is something we we are not able to do. Like हर बार ऐसा होता है कि एग्जाम्स आ रहे हैं और पढ़ाई नहीं हुई है तो स्ट्रेस इज लाइक आ ही जाता है. Like we cannot
Right.
have a control over it. And the potato, oh god, the potato,
Yeah.
becoming a French fry was like torture for me because hotels are also not working.
Yeah, that's all of us, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like really nice to
Thank
learn how
you.
to manage stress. To that
Thank you.
255 formula which you gave, that you look for 5 minutes away when you're concentrating or studying on something, and I really appreciate the efforts you are taking to make us understand how to manage stress and how to deal with
Thank you.
these issues. So thank you so much, Anagha, and
Thank you.
we are eager to see you in further sessions also. So yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, guys, and all the best to everyone.
Thank you, thank you.
Bye.
Uh, okay, guys, so we are done with all the sessions as planned, and now I will. Okay, yeah, one short announcement today. Sourabh Muttha sir couldn't come because of some family issues, so his session has been cancelled. But we will make sure that we will take up him some other time for taxation or any other topic as the time comes. And so yeah, today we are done with it. So I'll ask Saili to give a vote of thanks, and we'll then end the session. Saili, please take over.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. It's my privilege to give a vote of thanks on this day of Examniti 3.0. I, Saili Kamli, on behalf of Thane WICASA, would like to extend a very hearty thanks to our guest of honor, CA Srinivas Joshi sir, for gracing our event. Also, I would like to thank CA Tejas sir for explaining us as to how our approach should be for appearing theory subjects. Further, I may like to express my gratitude to CA Deepak Ukidave sir for highlighting as to how a practical paper should be presented. I would also like to acknowledge my gratitude to CA Anagha Jathar ma'am for giving an excellent coverage as how to deal with exam pressure and stress management. We all are inspired by your great words, ma'am. Lastly, our chairman, CA Rahul Garat sir, for conducting this event, and my fellow team members, Shrutika, Sanika, and everyone, Shivam as well. Last but not least, all our participants for cooperating. Hope this session was of great use to you all for your exam preparation. On behalf of Thane Vikasa, I wish you all the very best. Study hard, keep calm, and take care. So I guess we should end this event.